What's up, guys? It's your boy, GRC. This is Crypto in the Morning. I'm going to read some quick comments so I can get this out of the way because we got a big one. Sam's still in makeup. Drama. I don't have a TV, so it's always appreciated. That's a funny comment. This isn't really too much drama. You know me, guys. I don't really care about drama. I care about detail. What do we got here? We got a lot of guys with a lot of small wiener syndrome talking a lot. That, there's a lot of money being involved. This is guy stuff. They get in fights all the time. I think it's more normal than people want to make it seem. So, guys, this isn't going to be a huge drama fest. I'm just going to be breaking this down like I do everything. Detail, straightforward. What Sam's thoughts on how the community, I just want to know Sam's thoughts on the community moving forward. Sam was covering Tesla from the day it launched. Yes, they're different technologies, but we always talk about the S-curve, right? And we just talk about it's similar stuff, guys. They're just put into different categories with different buttons in different pieces. So we're just going to talk about adoption, the community in general. What is it important to actually pay attention to? And what can you probably just ignore online? A lot of this stuff is just guys online that want more attention than maybe they should have for whatever reason. And that's okay, guys. You're allowed to want attention online too, Sam. Again, I posted a absolutely thirst-trapped, delicious picture of myself, worked like a charm, and it's a good time. But at the same time, when we're causing trouble and we just want to be, it's all just FUD and misunderstandings, really. One person will say one thing, it'll get screenshotted, sent to everyone, then this guy has 2 beers, reads it, writes a tweet, he's all upset, then Richards answers with a subliminal message, and then all hell breaks loose. A bunch of dorks fighting it up. But guys, let's just I'm a dork too, so let's fight it up, guys. JK, we're just going to talk everything through. We're going to talk about Terra Luna as well today, along with a couple other things. And we have a couple special guests coming on. The truth of the matter is, guys, this isn't a big deal. And there's a lot of really rich people in Hex. I look at as much as I can now. And, don't be worried. Don't be worried that it's going to go to zero or something crazy like that. This is a very sticky product. I mean, it's as sticky as I've ever seen. And it's not one person that runs the damn thing. It's not. It doesn't matter what anyone says. It's not. And if the price went to 1 cent, it would recover perfectly, in my opinion. So let's just keep moving forward, guys. We have to do this properly, at least informing people the best we can. All of the online bullcrap drama, when people start bringing up drama, it means they are immediately just in the wrong state of mind. And I've done it before too. So I think it's just a guy thing. Let's talk it out. Let's hug it out because we're going to the moon anyway. So everybody, let's get into a little detail. Check this song out before we go. This is Crypto in the Morning, guys.
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Heart. Richard Heart.
Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Point one every day we mark. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the Hex, he is mooning. Looking at wives they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pull chains out and they'll get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex, I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
What's up? What's up? What's up? How you doing, bro? I
Good.
am. I don't pay attention to a lot of the drama in you know in life, right? So this will be an interesting episode because I'm going
Yeah,
to
Sam,
be calling the bullshit.
get out of your comfort zone a little bit today, Sam, for the first 30 minutes or so, because we're going to talk about men in general fighting. Like, what does it mean when men are fighting each other in an egotistical way? It doesn't matter what the concept is. It just matters what it's two men, testosterone. There's a lot of hormonal stuff that's involved in this too. There's a lot of pressure right now, guys. Big pressure, explosive, melting face pressure of pulse chain, kinetic energy coming out right now. To think that doesn't put anxiety into a person would be ignorant. Okay. And I just think that as far as if you're doing your life's work, in my opinion, and I've done my life's work a few times, different things, you need 100% focus, and you can't necessarily add on to a bunch of extra stuff in your life, right, Sam? Like, I can't fix my relationship life at the exact same time as I'm starting my brand new business. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I should allocate different moments for those headspaces, right? So it's like whenever Richard's talking, I'm like, how much time does this guy really have to focus on his PR for an immutable code contract? It's kind of hard to say. What do you think about I'm just going to say it straight up, a founder, a controversial founder at that, speaking whatever he wants on the internet?
Well, so as you mentioned in the beginning, I've been following Tesla since 2009, 2010, 2008, whatever it was when I started following. My first article that I actually wrote for Seeking Alpha, which is a financial news type of a website, was back in 2013. You can probably go find it. And I have videos on YouTube from 2014 talking about Tesla. So I understood what was happening with Tesla. And one of the reasons Tesla has been uber successful is due to the leader, right, Elon Musk. And not everybody appreciates the way he conducts himself in public. And those same people who don't appreciate how Elon Musk conducts himself in public. I pulled up a couple of videos here to actually show you. There was several instances, and I just pulled up two.
Make sure we can play these videos before we just pull them up.
Yeah. Well, there's one from Elon Musk and Joe Rogan.
Can we just do it without the sound?
Yeah, I can do it without the audio. I'll pull this up.
That one's more of a picture, anyway.
Because this is not something that right, this happened, right, and you have people who. Let me see if I can make this bigger.
Yep.
Okay. You have things that happen like this. And I'll just keep the sound off, right? Joe Rogan and Elon Musk smoking weed on the most popular show right now in America, right? I think one show might have beat him because of advertising recently, where he's smoking weed. The CEO of one of the largest companies in the world, right, is smoking weed, right? Then you have another thing where he actually is going through and he created a flamethrower, bro, a flamethrower to actually talk about. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick.
And I'm pretty sure he sold a certain amount of them.
Oh, he sold all of them. Yes.
Yeah.
He sold. Oh, wait, not this clip. It's a different clip. Maybe I should pull up.
But I think for the majority of people, like the biggest moment was when he put that. It was illegal at the moment too, in a lot of states too.
Yes, but
am I lagging? Someone's lagging, and it might be me.
Elon Musk this is a not a flamethrower. That's the name. A not flamethrower. It's not flamethrower is the name of it, right? And when people are like, Richard Harris says all this ridiculous shit, right? And it's bad for the brand. It's bad for this. I can't tell my fucking cousin's grandma about it because he says penis, right? Or all this other trash. And you're like, bro, we're not in high school anymore. First of all, you got to put it into a bigger picture. Is this a good thing or a bad thing for the brand? Well, if you look at Tesla, who appreciates the authenticity that
Probably people 35 and under for the most part. Like I would say general demographic 35 and under, but I'd probably say 60%.
you know who else brings this same or similar level of authenticity to the
Richard
marketplace?
Hart.
Donald Trump.
Ooh, good one.
That, like, I don't give a shit whether you like him or not. This is what's also brought forth to bring forth that bullshit meter. And same thing is happening with Elon Musk. Donald Trump does this. Richard Hart is doing this, just calling people on their bullshit. And if something comes up in a conversation, I'm not gonna be political about it. Just like
Like I
hey,
just wish
Sam,
people, for me, you can observe guys for long enough. I don't like when people talk about their junk either, but that's not even the point. The point is, this guy is smarter than you are acting like he is when you're tweeting about him not knowing what he's doing. In my
you should pull up that tweet so that
Wouldn't
you
it
can
be
show
fair
people.
to say Richard has a little more foresight than your average human being?
I would think that he thinks
Is
longer
that fair?
term. Yes,
Is that fair?
I would
Because
agree.
he
I would
created
agree with that.
cryptocurrency, the first one that was ever locked. Nobel Prize worthy shit. We all know it. Absolutely dynamic for emotional health. He changed the world. Okay. Is it fair to say he might have a couple charts on PR and marketing where you might not? So, like, instead of calling him out in front of everyone, like, why don't we just like shut up and just let it go? Because the people that are going to invest, the people that want to dig deeper, it doesn't. I mean, again, these rich guys are rich as hell, so it's hard for us to relate. Like, I don't know what it's like to be a billionaire. Frankly, I don't give a shit. It's like that's not the normal experience. That's not what Richard Hart created this product for. He created this product to better the people around him and to change the world. Everyone, not just the billionaires. You know what I mean? Not just Robert Kiyosaki, not just all these guys. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just about them. So if the price dumped to half a penny, Sam, how would you feel emotionally?
For Hex,
Yeah.
depending on the context, but say if it was just somebody dumping and that's the reason the
Let's
price
just
went
say it
down,
was a dump and the dude was like, I'm out.
I would be like, oh, this is glorious. I'd
And
be like, this is a good thing.
what would Jim Rat say probably behind the scenes?
Probably a very similar thing, I would think.
I would say, guys, this could be the greatest opportunity that Jim Rat's ever had in his entire life. So understand when we're talking about a community, guys, we're talking about a community. Think about how many layers that has. A community. It's not just one guy, two guys, three rich dudes. It's everyone. This has to be a consensus, you know what I mean? And Elon Musk showed that you can do something absolutely illegal, put it on camera, and people will forget in 3 days or whatever. You know the drill. People forget right away. Me and Joker fight, we all forget. We say sorry. You know what I mean? Like, it's just we all have shit to do. So we're just moving forward, right? And how can he change his? I just have a feeling, my personal intuition is that he knows this very in depth about this marketing in particular, just like you're kind of saying. Like, you have a hunch.
Well, I have a feeling it sounds like there's something in the space of where Richard Hart is mentally related to sex or females or that, where there's something there which he's currently working on or working through or not working on or not working through that is reoccurring because it seems to come up fairly regular, right? So whatever that thing mentally is for him, not saying that thing is a good thing or a bad thing, there's clearly something happening there for him, right? Because I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I think the authenticity of it, I appreciate. Whether I'm going to tune in and listen to it, no, I'm not going to, right? But that's the beauty of the thing called like the internet, right? You can just shush it off and change it.
And
You
he
don't
would
need
be
to
the
listen
first
to
one
it.
to say, if you already know about Hex and like you're just not about like following all my stuff, he'd be like, I'm glad you know about Hex. Like, you know, like I think, guys, at the end of the day, this is about a technology taking over the world. And at some point you have to punch harder than the people before you a little bit in the space. I don't care how many rich people there are in the world. Nobody's doing what he's doing. Why aren't they doing it if they're so smart and rich? Why don't they just hire people to do it? Because it's in his brain. Boy.
Well, why don't you give people context of what you're talking about in terms of this, right?
Yeah, so for everyone that doesn't know, in general, I guess we could talk back and forth about like what we're doing here and what I like to do. Crypto Gonal. Happy Monday.
Sup?
I
How you
know
doing?
everyone's thinking I'm looking really lean, but I promise you I'm gaining a
No,
little.
bro, you gotta like get some bigger arms, dude. Like, what's up, man? Yeah, look, it's hard for me to fit in here on the screen. I have to bring my elbows way forwards.
My cuts I'm like in full bodybuilding mode again. I love it.
I pulled up the.
So let's
tweet.
talk about
Are you gonna bring up? Do you want to give context to what you're talking about so people have an idea?
Hex and Richard Hart.
The person that you mentioned
Oh, you mean
pre-stream,
like a specific thing?
yeah, to give
Well,
people
I guess
context, or do
I
you want
guess
to just
everyone
switch topics?
knows.
No,
Wow, no way,
I
dude. Dude, they just said DAI is now unpegged down 33%.
let me check
Holy
this out.
smokes, dude.
I'm pulling it up right now.
No way, Hexographer. Stop that nonsense. 6.3 confirmed. Richard's wanker.
It's sitting at $1.
It's sitting at Hexographer. What can you pull it back and see if there was any movement?
No, nothing.
FUD. We're calling FUD on that. Say it, Sam. FUD.
It's not true. It's not, I mean, like, unless you're looking at something I'm not looking at. Like, if you pull up the chart on them, it's not. They're sitting at $1.
33% unpegged. What are we looking at? Can anyone drop us a link?
I think he's probably clearly talking about something else.
All right, guys. All right, pull this down. We don't know what the drop.
Yeah.
Some people in the. I'm not good at talking
This
about
is why I don't talk about drama. It's stupid. Like,
no, I know,
but
we're gonna talk about it a little bit, and then we're gonna move on. Okay. So there's the guy. His name is Rackham Rishel. I don't know much about him, other than that he's on Twitter a lot, and he's a billionaire supposedly, and he's one of the main investors in Hex. But he's very pro tip. Humility pays better. I'm good at it. Currently pays S though. This reply hidden by the original tweet. Oh, okay. Anyway, it was basically Rackham going back and forth. He wants. Okay, here we go. Bull crap you are. You have a serious issue going on, and it's now pissing a lot of us off, Richard. I am telling you right here and now. You compromise my money, my partners, my Saudi friends. You're going to answer for it, period. Give me attitude in public. So that's all we got to read on that. I don't want to read anymore right now. It's stupid.
Right. Well, one thing that people who have a lot of money,
I had never read that yet, by the way. I kind of read some of it, but Saudi friends.
People who have money and they put money into things, they tend to want to have voice in whatever's happening, right? So people who think that they're special, right? And they think that their money is going to create that influence for them.
I'm special because look, guys, look what I did. It took me 10 years. Okay. You know why people walk up to me and they're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Because it did something that took me a really, really, really long time. And it's worthy of someone saying something. It's just because it's money. What if I just was this, but I was homeless? Or what if I just had a lot of money, but I never worked out and I was 700 pounds? You know what I mean, Sam? It's a whole thing. And people are just like, look at me. It's just like a look at me test when it's never like it's a look at me test. And I understand, like, it's hard. It's easy for me to say, like, I'm young, I have nothing, and everyone pays attention to me. And then pisses people off, right? Why do they pay attention to me? Because I'm being honest about where I'm at and you're not.
But that gets back to the point, right? Donald Trump being honest, right? Yeah. Elon Musk being honest, right? Richard Hart being honest.
It's an honesty thing. It is. It's like, there's no one. I couldn't screw up in my life because if this all falls, like I always tell you, like, dude, I could fail 10 times over and I wouldn't even care. It's like almost like I wouldn't even care. Like it turned from like I used to be scared. Now it's just like, dude, I could literally care less. I'll do something else.
I couldn't care less. This is
I'll be like, dude, I'll learn how to swim, deep dive, and like fish for a living or something crazy, like whatever.
Yeah, something. We were like,
I was building cell phone towers
like
300 feet in the air, and I thought I was going to do that shit for the rest of my life.
Wow.
At some point in my life, and I was building so any of you guys that are building towers and stuff for all the crypto nodes and stuff, if you ever need someone to run a crew, I could run a whole crew. I won't climb the towers anymore, but I would run a crew. if someone wanted me to go somewhere. I can
Yeah,
do
that's some
T-Mobile,
crazy-
Verizon, all that stuff, top to bottom, whole construction. No worries.
You're not gonna be doing that shit though, bro. You're not gonna be. Doing
Someone
that
offered
shit.
me $1 million of freaking quarter to do some hex shit, I'd do it.
Yeah. So let's talk about something that's actually important, not like little children acting like little children in grown man bodies.
So the thesis of the end of the story, guys, is guys fight because they want power and attention. That's it. They kind of fib about what they actually want. Like, what will guys say a lot of the time? My channel is all about adoption for Pulse Chain. That would be your average YouTuber, not Gym Rat though. But like your average YouTuber would say, if they were me, this channel is all about promoting Pulse Chain. But what's the actual truth? This channel is about making me more popular and more successful. And I'm hoping that people look at me different because I do this show. But no one likes to say stuff the actual way it is because it scares them. But why do they like me? Because I could care less if I ever leave this damn house again. I just like my time. Like we're bodybuilders, we're just different. Bodybuilders are like the guys that take a lot of pictures, but then they read all day at their house. It's
Like, I don't want to go do the other stuff.
Yeah, like we already did that. Like I just want to read and hopefully we can get a good night's sleep tonight. Like, you know what
I
I
already
mean?
slept with a lot of girls. Like, I don't want to go out and chase
So
girls.
let's move on, guys.
To the fucking bar.
Everyone, we need to just please. This is all going to work out. This is all going to be great. Everyone wants attention. Everyone wants to be awesome. Just do your best to be honest, and the people around you will appreciate you for the skills you have. I promise you, because I never thought this would happen for me. Not this in particular, but I never thought intellectually I'd get to be to the point where I'm at now. And it's where I can be open-minded and have unbiased perspective on things because I just don't care anymore, dude. I'm just like, whatever. Like, if all these guys go to zero and I go to zero, like, good luck, dude. I could do that 10 times in a year. Like, well, like, that's the thing. When you get your stuff tied up and wrapped up, something you taught me. Yeah, having a lot of money's fun, but having 11 business partners, not fun. Right, Sam?
Depends. You have to like those
Well, no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's better, $1,000 a month with $500 extra per month, or $10,000 a month, but you have 3 employees, you're constantly doing taxes, you constantly have to look at everything, you're constantly running a business, but you're just making more, right? So I take peace over overhead always. Peace over overhead, and then I'll create from there. You know what I mean? That's my strategy personally.
You have to like enjoy.
Oh, my bad. West Coast Sparks with the $5 super chat. You bring valuable, fresh content daily, no drama. Yeah, I don't do drama. I really don't. People would like me to be. I'll call out a fake natty, but
AK in the comments brought this up yesterday. He's like, "Hey Sam, I like your other YouTube channel where you talk about like the bodybuilding, fitness comment." And he's like, "Most people just won't talk about that stuff, and they'll just say that like they're trying to sell you like some supplement of some sort without actually being 100% honest about what they're talking about." And that's 100% true. Like, there's so many people who would just go through and do that. Like where you were literally just talking about, who gives a shit about that? If I'm doing this because I want to make money, I'm going to tell you I'm doing this because I want to fucking make money, right? If I'm doing this for any other reason, I'll tell you this.
Sam, perfect example in my life. It's like all the guys over my life that have wanted a girl or just really been obsessed with a girl. And I would always just be like, I'm telling you, dude, just play it cool, dude. Like, you don't want to go all in. You don't want to say anything too crazy. You don't want to get over emotional, because what it does is it just moves people in another direction, right? Like it moves them to the person that's more stable. It's all about stability. What do women love? A stable man, someone who's going to be there day in and day out, someone who's going to make it, someone who has intention. Like, I'm a leader. Everything I do has intention, period. I take a nap. That's about the least intensive thing that I do. Like, I'll take a nap every once in a while. But you know what I mean? You want to be stable. So when you see people getting unstable, it doesn't matter if they have $1 billion and they're doing this kind of stuff, or if they have $5 and they're doing this kind of stuff. It's an emotional life we live. These dollars are not real. They're fake. They don't exist. I'm living this truth right now, telling you this. I have no dollars. Okay, yes, I have enough to survive for months. But you know what I mean? Like, yes, I have crypto and stuff. I've never taken money out of crypto. I don't need anything. And I'm in a better position than half these guys that are crying and have $1 billion. Why? Because I'm just being 100% transparent about what I'm doing, and everyone else has financial incentive, Sam. Let's call a spade, Sam.
It is.
It's financial incentive, period. And what did Richard Hart say? No expectations from the work of others. This is not an asset. This is a secure, or the other way around.
Yes. What is the sacrifice? The verbiage says exactly that. You can't expect me to do anything.
Why don't we pull that up, Sam?
Why
don't we pull that up? That's a good one to pull up. I'm going to
Bullish, can you grab that sacrifice text that we're referencing? That would be fantastic. Appreciate that. Where you sacrifice. That's it. He can literally take your money and fucking walk away, bro. It doesn't matter how much you put in. Too bad. Like, that's just how it works. There's a quote from a book that I read recently. And it goes something along the lines of, can you zoom in a little bit and make that a little bit bigger?
I'm going to read this real quick.
What you were referencing in terms of emotions, right? And in the stability of your emotions is how I was interpreting that. And the quote goes something along the lines of, you can always tell when you're dealing with an adult versus a child. And not in terms of their age, but adults use, and I might be more abrupt in the way that was come across in the book, but adults use what's between their ears, right? They're going to use logic and think. Children use emotions and feelings to make decisions. There's a difference between the two. Adults use logic and thinking to make decisions, and children use how they feel. How does it feel when you have an unstable base and you make decisions on an unstable base? We've all heard the cliche that if you build a house on sand, the foundation on sand is not a stable base to have that on. And that's what happens if you don't get your shit together. But let's pull this up. Go ahead and read through this.
Okay, so this is a disclaimer. You are sacrificing to prove how strong you believe that blockchains are speech, and speech is a protected human right. This is an important political statement. You must have no expectations of profit from the work of others. The set of people who have sacrificed to show their commitment to this political statement makes a great set of people to airdrop free things to. This sacrifice, see, that's what it says. A great set of people to airdrop the free things to, the people that have a commitment to this political statement, guys. People wrote this. They thought about this before they wrote every single word. They published this as a legal disclaimer, guys. So this is public documentation at this point. So this is like a legal document at some point, right? Or is this just a disclaimer? Yeah, it's a legal document.
Well, it is a legal document. It's just a disclaimer, but it's also
the sacrifice points are not meant to have any monetary value. Remember, you're not buying anything, right, Sam? It's not monetary value. The world is just noticing you are amongst a group of people that sacrifice to make a political statement. We're all just a group of people that made a political statement that have no money at this point. Some countries tax their citizens when they receive things of value. Pulse Chain and all the coins are designed to start with zero value. And can we just be appreciative enough that tax implications were thought about for us? Like, that's pretty dope. Even though every jurisdiction is different, which is ideal. Consult your own legal and financial professionals, as nothing written here should be considered professional advice. The only thing we know of set to be airdropped for free to this political group so far is Pulse Chain. If we hear about other cool things, we'll let you know. It seems like they thought about that a lot before they wrote it, probably.
Yeah, of course. And so, like, the tax thing is interesting on there because
I love how he slides that in, like, just like elbow.
I'm gonna talk about business. That's what's exciting to me. Job is boring. Like,
you know those memes with the guys that are just like, it's like the bank dudes. They're just like, this guy's taking our lives over.
Like my girl, I learned something new about whether it's a different tax strategy or whatever it might be about crypto. I wanted to talk about that comment, so thanks for pulling it up. And I'll go tell my girlfriend, and you can just see her eyes are glazing over. And they're like, "Hey, babe, are you listening?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, cool, no worries." Because I understand that, like, I like this shit, and a lot of people don't like this shit. So it's interesting. But to go back to the disclaimer and the tax perspective, if you're a sacrifice, what does that effectively mean? If you're going to put in $100,000 to something and there's no expectation of profit on there, then you're able to write that off, reducing your taxes in the year you did that. And you can have something with the zero cost basis to start with. right? So you can take this by sacrificing, you're able to reduce your taxes in the year that you actually did sacrifice.
Well, you're
I'm not a fucking
no,
tax
you just
expert.
have zero tax, so it's just a non-taxable event because it starts from zero. It's not an actual thing.
You
Until
got two
take it
pieces.
out.
You need two pieces.
What do you mean?
Sacrifice, coins. Sacrifice, you can write off.
Yeah, but the coins have zero value.
Correct. Coins, zero value. Coins, zero tax basis. Sacrifice.
Oh, as you mean as just like a tax write-off in general?
Yep. So 100 grand, you can write that off. Then if something were to happen, you get this thing for free. Right?
What was Richard thinking when he said we'll do 20? Because I'll tell you the numbers. So if you could do the regular sacrifice address, and then there was a separate sacrifice address that went directly to the Sens Foundation, and you had to write them a little email and shit. But you got 75%. No, you got 25% a less rate. But the tax implications were better, I believe, because it was a direct charity donation.
Well, so
if you know what I mean.
Remember that guy we had on the other day, Kinetics, I think his name was. Was that accurate? Kinetics?
Yep, Kinetics.
Okay.
Yes.
So Kinetics is and RG3, they're working together, and they're, at least from the elementary understanding of what they've shared, they're working to create the foundation of the tax for what this is that we're just describing. Traditionally, it would have had to go to a 501c3, which Sens probably is, right? So that means you're taking your money and you're donating it to the Sens Foundation, which means you could write it off right away. If how I'm approaching it, I'm not saying this is a right way or a wrong way. Like, if you know about taxes, then you know it's all about the story and the justification you put behind it, right? This has to be legal and ethical, which, if you know anything about those things, there are a lot of gray areas, right? And you can take that sacrifice that went to Pulse Chain, and this is what Kinetics is trying to put forth with the legal opinion letter and laying the foundation for the justification to do so. That sacrifice, if you sacrificed, right, you sacrificed a substantial more money than I did, and obviously, like, there's people who did millions of dollars. That means the money that you sacrificed in there, you could use as a tax write-off. It was 2021. So in 2021,
what if I sacrificed it with an account that sacrificed it?
Pardon?
Because I did a pool.
So what was the first part of your question? I missed it.
So my second, does it matter that I sent my, because I did my Pulse? Oh, you can still do it. It's the same. Cool.
Yep. So that means you could write off that, so that you could I don't know if you probably already did your taxes because it's May 16th.
Yeah, I did.
But you could always do an amendment or talk to your accountant how to figure that out.
Next time, I'll just be on the back end. I'm just like, next year, I'm just going to take all this year as it is, and then I'm going to just start making sure I don't miss anything.
But you know how you had your job last year, most of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of the year, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you could do, you have to talk to your accountant. You may, and if hypothetically somebody did sacrifice 50 grand, we'll say, and they sacrificed that, and they had the W-2 income, and then they had a business, even if it's just a DBA. And for people who are not aware, you can just say it's a DBA. You can go file the paperwork for it, but like, from the legal perspective, it's not necessarily filed as a DBA. You should talk to your accountant, but basically you could just say that you're a DBA to keep it simple. $50,000 loss over here, you made, say, 100 grand over here working as a W-2 for the previous job. This 50,000, a portion of this, I think there's certain rules, but a portion of the capital loss or the loss you had in this business can be carried over here to offset the taxes that you paid over here, meaning that you would get a larger refund, and you'd have tax loss carry forwards for this year, so you wouldn't have to pay taxes on things that are coming in, right? We just had 2 super chats. So you're going to have to pay taxes on those 2 super chats. When that happens, there's no cost. There's not a lot of cost to it. But the sacrifice from last year, if hypothetically somebody did sacrifice, I don't know what your sacrifice is. If it was 50,000 or 100,000 or 6 million, you could take that as a loss last year and bring that forward. So you can reduce your taxes for last year, meaning you get a refund because you're working a W-2 job. And then you can bring those so they come forward into 2022, reducing your taxes for 2022. And if you don't use up all those tax loss carry forwards this year, you can carry it forward to next year. This is literally what I've been doing for 3 years, and this is how I haven't paid taxes legally. I'm not saying anybody should do any of this shit, but like,
no, this is not a tax. show. I am not a tax advisor. I'm just your local gym rat. Okay. So as far as all the drama and all that stuff, guys, these guys will make up. They're all going to be wildly rich and successful. Hopefully, they don't have a mental illness breakdown. That's basically all we're hoping for because there's a lot of stuff. There's Lambos, there's crazy stuff. I'm sure it's stressful. I can only imagine if it was me, I would be extremely like, unless I did it completely organically, like because I always tell people, like, I don't really want a certain amount of money yet. Like, I like to be like in the same space as I'm supposed to be in. Like, if I was to have $5 million, like directly into my bank account right now, I might not make the proper move with it rather than if I just did it on the fly, like I'm going to, like, so sometimes that large, money transfer, somebody else getting wealth because of a product that they invested in that somebody else created can create a mental change in a person really rapidly. And anyone would be the first one to admit that if you get $1 billion, like your brain's going to do lots of bouncing around. Like
we talked to, I think it was Crypto Profeta or something, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And
bullish, if any one of those guys want to come on, just one at a time, but like the guys that you were talking about before, you can send them a link. Sorry about that, Sam.
No, you're good. So he had mentioned, and we've heard it from other people, and it's a documented reality, what you're saying, GRC, that, remember to point this way, I pointed you, that when people get things for free, they don't value them as much as when you have to wait and you have to work towards something. And that's kind of what you're saying, right? Like if you automatically get $5 million because you happen to make the right investment that went up by 1,000x or 10,000 or 50,000x in a relatively short period of time, right? And you put in $1,000 and now you got 2 million or $10 million, right? Mm-hmm. Well, that, as Crypto Profeta was mentioning, led to a state of like depression or anxiety because he was like, shit, I've been in the journey this whole time in this one way, and now it's gone. So like,
oh, dude, if someone gave me money right now, I'd be so pissed. I'd be like, no, I have to do my things first. Like seriously, like my OCD would be like, no, I had a journey, I had it planned out, I had it written out. I want to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
so how are you going to approach
my entire journey out? I need to do it every step of the way, or I won't have the control mentally that I need. That's why today at 8:00, I'm going on 8:00 p.m. Eastern. I'm starting my coding journey so I can stop asking people for help because it's annoying to me to ask, over and over. You ask people the same questions. It's like, I got to figure this stuff out on my own at some point. So at 8 p.m. tonight, we will be doing a coding lesson for Maxi. Get your notebooks out if you want to follow along in your computers. I don't know how far I'm going to get, but Fashion Coder, she's teaching me. I'm submitting to Coder, and I'm getting
this.
I'm getting my thinking cap on. And so tonight, 8 p.m., I'll publish the thumbnail for that, guys. It's going to be really awesome. I can't wait to talk to Fashion Coder. She's really cool, to be honest. We talk a couple times. Super smart, super awesome, super genuine, awesome. Don't say anything wild to her online, guys. Keep it nice and PG, please.
She's awesome. She's just trying to help.
Yeah, like not all these girls put their face out there because they also get harassed online. But she does, and she's a nice girl. She takes the punches.
Bro, she knows what happens when women walk by a construction site with 35 dudes? Now imagine you add 3, 4, 5 zeros to that number, so you have a community that is 99% men in crypto, and you have a woman show her face and be public in the world. They, I'm sure, get harassed nonstop. It happens in the real world. I guarantee it happens in like the digital world because it's the same thing. People just don't realize it. They think the digital world is somehow crazy different, but you're not going to lie to your friends. You're going to be authentic and you're going to try to like help your friends out. It's the same thing when it happens on the internet, right? People just think they're two different things. Mm-hmm.
So what were we saying?
I don't remember what I was saying. I just saw, I was reading a comment from AK about the videos and just being truthful. So you're welcome, AK. That comment from Luis Sita Crypto from a few minutes ago, where he was talking about his emotions and not necessarily being able to control them. Figure that shit out, bro. Whether that's journaling or meditation or talking to a counselor or whatever you need to do to solve it, you have no idea how much it's slowing you down in your progress and growth in life.
Well, no, you can't. You can't grow. You can't. You can't grow. You can't grow if you have emotional turmoil. You have to get rid of that and then move forward. Like let's say a girlfriend breaks up with you or something. You got to take the month. You got to reflect. You got to do your thing, and then you got to get back on the horse. You can't do it all necessarily at the same time. Like you can't put your best effort in at work and be going through a break. I always say that. Like you want to subject. Like when I go through emotional pain, I take it and I just live in it, right? And I just get it over with, and I feel it, and I talk about it, and I mention it to all my friends and my family, and then it goes away really quickly. But I've learned intuitively. I've learned to just spit it out, be honest, just let it out. No one cares. I'm going to die anyway. Why don't I just let it out? Because at the end of the day, anything that I hold back is just going to slow me down. And I'm on a, me, I don't want to be slowed down at all. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick.
Cool. I'm going to talk about Pulse X because Pulse X actually just has the same disclaimer here. West Coast Sparks. While GRC was talking, I have several video lists over here of different ideas, and I just wrote that down in regards to the tax thing. I was thinking about I could definitely do a video on crypto and tax. Just preface it as like this is how I personally am doing that. You should probably not do what I do kind of thing in the beginning, just to give context, and just I don't want anybody doing something stupid that they heard on the internet, right? But I'm happy to share how I'm handling the justification to my accountant. Maybe she even wants to come in the air and chat about this thing here, but I don't know. Pulse X had the same disclaimer out there. And when I just did 2 videos on Pulse X yesterday, because when you look at Google Trends, and actually I should be able to pull this up here, but if you look at Google Trends, which is the tracker for the 2 largest search engines in the world, Google and YouTube, and you look at Pulse X, and you're like, oh, Pulse X is growing in terms of people searching for it on Google and on YouTube. You're like, okay, that's cool. That's interesting, right? And when you do data analytics, you understand that when you look at data, you can compare that to the time series of that individual thing. So what does that mean? Sam, are you doing better than you were yesterday? Sam, are you doing better than you were 6 months ago? Sam, are you doing better than you were 3 years ago? Kind of thing. The time series of my life, right? So in data analytics, you can compare that to the previous time series of that individual thing. Pulse X, is it getting more search volume over time relative to itself? Is that growing over time? Another interesting way to look at data is relative to something else. So you could look at, say, Pulse X relative to the largest decentralized exchange there is, Uniswap. And when you do this is fascinating. I'm actually going to pull this up for you guys so you can see this on Google Trends. Did this yesterday. The full video on this with a lot more detail is coming out. I have one video out on my channel. If you have a second and you want to drop that in the comments, you guys can check that out, where I did this for Ethereum and Pulse. But the data is more compelling for Pulse X and Uniswap, which will be out later today. This is on Pulse X and Uniswap global search volume, right, over the last 12 months. And on YouTube search volume. Check this out. Remember, Uniswap is the large business, so to speak. If you think about Uniswap as a business, this business is doing over $400 billion in transactional volume a year. Over $1 billion a day. Some days, several $1 billion of transactional volume in a single day on Uniswap. You have this compared to Pulse X, an idea that was put forth in the ethos of humanity 6 months ago. And this idea that is not actually available yet, that has 0 revenue at this point, right? It's just an idea, is already on par with this. So let's take a look at the 90-day mark here. This is the nerdy shit I do for fun. this is the average search volume relative to this peak here. That's what this represents. They're virtually the same over the last 90 days in terms of search interest. Because this is when I try to look at data or I try to understand something, it's like, cool, Sam understands it as in this is how it is, right? But as you continue to grow and evolve, you also have to understand that, like, maybe this is how you see the world. And you also want to understand how other people sometimes see the world so that you can communicate in the language that they use to describe the world. Think of trying to talk to somebody in Spanish and the only language you know is English. If they're saying something to you, you have no effing idea what they're actually saying because you're speaking English and they're speaking Spanish. This happens in relationships when you talk, whether it's business relationships or intimate relationships. You're talking about something, your spouse is talking about something else. And because of those nuances of how you actually describe or define the language you use, people butt heads because they don't take the time to describe those two things and actually how each piece is defined. And when you look at PulseX relative to Uniswap, they are getting the same amount of search interest on the largest search engine in the planet over the last 90 days. Think about that, GRC. Think about how crazy that is. And a virus that is an idea is getting so much attention in people's minds that they're going to YouTube and they're searching for PulseX on average the same amount that they're searching for Uniswap that does $400 billion annually, probably more this year, of revenue, so to speak, of transactional volume. This is insane. And
it just shows the efficiency of crypto too. Like, it just shows how efficient really this stuff is. Like, Uniswap's so efficient that even people don't even really. And another factor I think is Uniswap so efficient. And it's like, well, I don't even know why I would. Are you talking about people like searching the Uniswap website or just looking up Uniswap on Google?
YouTube, yeah, it's just the term Uniswap. So when people search on YouTube,
what if they write other words and Uniswap?
It also comes up because they would use the word for Uniswap, from my understanding.
Then, yeah, no, I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's definitely really cool. Why don't you go to PulseX versus PulseChain? Because I have another point I want to make about that.
Think about why that could. Think about why that is.
Why?
Well, do we agree that higher costs to do things reduces the activity of something, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty obvious that's just how it is. There's data you can look at that I can prove that to you, but like
person-to-person volume will change. Like the dollar amount might not, but the person-to-person definitely will.
Okay, so given that we believe the same thing about that, the transaction cost of Ethereum is, we could say, about $20 maybe, right? To do one transaction. Sometimes it's way higher, sometimes it's a little bit lower, but like if we just came up with an average of $20 per transaction on Ethereum network, we have $20 on the one hand for Uniswap. Pulse Chain, we have a 10,000x decrease in the price to do a transaction. What happens when you have something like that and there's a 10,000x in the price of doing something and you get all the same fucking shit? You like ERC20s of some weird shit? Cool. You get the same things over here and it costs 10,000x less to trade. Like, oh man, this is, I'm excited. I'm excited looking at the data. I'm excited about the adoption curve. I'm excited about the furious nature at which how fast crypto projects are actually launching and coming to market. There's been 12 or so in the last 60 or so days that I've seen in crypto launch. And I'm in this microcosm of crypto around RH products. And I'm seeing around 12 projects launch in this time period in 60 days. Now imagine you spread that out. Solana, ADA, Phantom, all these other, Ethereum, I mean, all of these other chains. If we're getting 12 over here and you multiply that times all these other ones, We are in a feverish moment in history that we're going to look. You guys are going to look back at this time in 5 years and be like, "Oh, you guys were living through that time." You have no idea for the
That's why I was
context.
so over concerned with covering it. Like I was like, I have to cover this every day. Like whether I'm gonna do it alone or just do
Smart
it on
man.
here. I had to. I just knew right away. I just like right away. It was so sticky. I was just like, this is way more entrepreneurial potential energy than anything I was doing at the time, and I was doing a lot. Like I was. Thank you for the reminder. So we invited a couple people on. You actually didn't meet RH Maximalist, so he has a very interesting take. He came on yesterday. He's a numbers guy, and he came on yesterday, and he was blowing my mind. And he was
Also,
talking. He thinks Pulse Chain is going to be just because of marketing value, not because of tokenomics. So he wasn't talking about tokenomics, and he mentioned that he didn't care about that part. He mentioned that people are going to FOMO to Pulse Chain because more people by economic mass got into Pulse Chain and PulseX, and there's going to be more people that are going to FOMO for the original chain native token because it'll have more marketing pressure at that time. He thinks. He's talking very much like, what would you rather buy, ETH or Shiba Inu? Because even though Shiba Inu will go up faster, I'd almost guarantee it at the top. But I want ETH. It's the native chain. It's safe. People might not be so sure, right? Like, so you can see how a lot of different things, because a lot of it's just mental shaping. Because people, they just go with the Joneses. We might not, but like the people, right?
oh, dude, this is such an exciting time.
Dude, he was dead set too. I was like, my partner doesn't think that. He was like, your partner doesn't know. I was like, oh, he's got to come on right now. Like,
yeah.
like,
So he's far more bullish than Pulse.
well, not even that. He was just telling me how he thinks some things work because I was bullish on PulseX when I was talking, and he was like, of course I'm bullish on PulseX. Like everyone's bullish on all this stuff, but he was like, I think people are going to gravitate towards Pulse just because of the name.
I agree, but
if you know what I mean, he thinks that'll
yeah,
overtake the tokenomics, but some people think the other way.
But no, it could 100% be. And
what if adoption's so big that 700,000 per day buy sell pressure is like not enough to like stop the bullishness of Pulse Chain? Like, dude.
But also think about that. Like, there's a lot of people. You've seen this. I guarantee you've seen this, and we've never talked about this. I get messages, which are awesome. Thank you guys. Also, thank you for 136 live viewers. Smash the thumbs up button.
Ooh.
Press the subscribe button. Press the share button. Also, jump over to Twitter. Press the follow button and retweet something of mine. Because I've got a contest going on right now where my buddy doesn't think I can beat him in terms of followers by July 30th. So if you enjoy the content, jump over there, press follow, retweet something. So completely lost my train of thought of what we were talking about.
I'll help you real quick. I just tweeted this. I'm not hating on anyone, by the way. This is all just for fun. So he said, quick poll. Would Richard Hart cleaning up his language and sexual talk help adoption for Pulse Chain? And I said, Elon smoked weed on the biggest podcast in the world, and now he's a superstar. So was that a good answer, guys? Biceps in the chat if you liked my answer, guys. Biceps in the chat if you liked my answer.
I'll give you a bicep in the window. That was a very good answer.
Hey, I started with that idea today. He's the Tesla guy, but I said, Sam, let's relate this right back to Tesla. And he was like, boom, let's do it. Because, guys, what do we know about adoption? It's replicable. It's about what's the word? Scaling, right? It's about scaling. What is crypto at the base? It's a scaling mechanism, right? Like it's like how can we reach everyone with a few clicks on a computer at everyone's house, and everyone can be interconnected. Also had a couple other points about Bitcoin I wanted to bring up. Some positive things about Bitcoin. Because I was thinking about. We'll go into that a little later.
Okay, so you were talking about your buddy and relating to Pulse Chain. And
I invited him on, so he might come on. He was an awesome dude. You'll love him.
Cool. This will be interesting.
Love him immediately.
I always appreciate people's points of view, even if I don't necessarily agree with what they're saying, just to see.
And he's like separate. Like he's been in Hex since day one, but he hadn't been out there a lot. And now he's like, I have to start streaming and stuff. And he's just like, he's really smart. He knows a lot of the back end stuff, which is nice. It's always nice when people know like the early stuff.
YouTube. I apologize, dude. I'm reading comments and I'm not paying attention. YouTube user says, "Why all the tank tops? Will it Because you get
Why
to
do you
see
think,
these.
dude? It's crypto fitness. Hold on. Why all the take? Don't say another word. Actually, biceps in the chat, guys. Biceps in the chat.
Let's go.
That's a good song, dude.
I
That
have all
music.
my Benjamins and start throwing them around the room from my
Right?
fitness challenge, but I forgot it was free, and you get
Yankees out
100,000
of the
hex.
years again.
There's 100,000 hex, guys. 100,000 hex going to 3 winners divided by 3, along with many other prizes. Shieldmasters.com, guys. You see all those shields in the background right there? People are buying them like crazy. I don't even have to mention it anymore. It's nice, guys. If you win the challenge, you get a custom shield. So it doesn't have to be one of the ones above me. And I still haven't even mentioned that to them, but I'll just buy them if they don't
You also
want to.
get some free product from Triggered as well. If you
Get free product. It's all free, guys. I don't have any financial. My only financial incentive is being as popular as possible. I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, I want this to work. I've invested pretty much all of my mental energy and all of my financial energy into this, and I'm just going to do my part right now because this is way, way more fun than what I was doing before. Not that what I was doing before wasn't fun, but this just happens to be way more fun.
This is a blast. It's
like a blast. Every day's a blast. I feel like I'm on vacation every single day. I'm not going to lie. I wake up in the morning. I go to the gym. That's all I've ever wanted in my life is not to have pressure in the morning to like, and I still put pressure on myself, but like it's my pressure, not their pressure, right? Like it was always someone else's pressure.
Do you notice that you have to adjust that for yourself?
Just what?
The pressure you put on yourself? Because
No.
like sometimes I'll put pressure on myself.
My pressure on me is
dumb shit.
absolutely OCD, disgustingly pressuresome all the time.
Like what? So sometimes I'll put pressure on stupid shit that's not relevant, and I have to be like, "Yo, bro, what are you fucking doing? That's dumb as fuck."
My thing's generally just my social medias right now. So like all I'm really doing is like pushing my socials and like trying to be more impactful with this. So like my goal's kind of clear. Like I'm not like doing a lot of different things, but at the same time, I could be doing 150 different things too. That could be better potentially. I just don't always know. And this is, like you do your best and you learn as you go. But all I know is providing value for this community is important because there's a lot of baloney, and not in this community only. There's just baloney everywhere. Like I was saying before, I want everyone to look at this Instagram post I posted today. Yeah, it's a little bit thirst trappy, but that's not really the point. The point is more so the caption.
You can pull that up as well. This is one of the longest stretches of time being online for 10 years. Excuse me, being online for 10 years of getting all of my social to grow at the same time. So sometimes you get spurts of certain things growing here, certain things growing there, and you're not able to kind of like push the whole ethos or like the whole brand of Sam forwards in all the different aspects that you are online. And yes, certain things are growing faster than other things, right? But now this moment, probably for the last year, a little bit longer, I'm able to drive everything forwards. So you posted this morning.
Can you hear me while I'm talking?
Yes. Now we can't hear the video, but we can hear
I'll
your
play
voice.
the video in a second. It says, so I fell in love with bodybuilding again after starting the Crypto Fitness Challenge. I'm going to be more active on IG when it comes to fitness content. There's a lot of uncomfortable truths about fitness that don't generally market well. So educating people about facts and showing off will be my primary goals. I can't believe I wrote that. I believe I did not know I wrote that, but that is the truth. So I probably meant that. I believe truth telling and transparency are dead in content, so it's fun content to make. I'm trying to get back to my last summer peak. This will probably be my last summer peak. Actually, this is probably my last summer peak, around 175. Eating enough calories is truly my problem, and I'm attacking it very hard, guys. Follow me up on here. I'm going to drop the link.
Yeah, give a follow. Also,
guys, give a follow to Sam too. We'll drop his links down there because he's on IG. We're going to get him. No, he's all active on IG. He's always been active on IG. So he posts pretty much most of his shit on IG as well. So give him a bunch of likes and follows, guys. And even if you don't want to have like a full account, just make a burner account and just follow all the Hex accounts. It does help, like, believe it or not. Like, it helps to have more. Just like we did to Twitter, Sam, I will start the plunge to Instagram for Hex. And Richard already did it, right? Because he went over and he told everyone he was going over. I will do the same thing. Like, I will.
Well, also, we found that opportunity, right? Like, so I cover the data, right? Just like we found, like, I'm looking at the data and I'm like, wait, why isn't this trading at a premium? The next day after we're talking, you did a switch with Maxi because the Maxi proposition from a value standpoint was way undervalued. And I'm like, we're talking about it the day before, and you go through and you do that and make a, double or whatever. We don't need to talk about the details of that. But when it comes to Instagram, relative to YouTube, relative to Twitter, relative to TikTok, Instagram and Pulse Chain, Pulse X, and whatnot on Instagram is not being optimized. And it's not. No, and it's not that there's not eyeballs there to do it. The native production of content, however that may take place around crypto or around Pulse X on Instagram, is not good. It is trash.
6,482 posts. 6,482 posts right now live under the Instagram hashtag Pulse Chain. Pulling it up right this second, guys. If you really think about all this stuff, pretty wild. Okay, so let's see what we recognize and what we don't from the community. Okay, so we know her from the community. She's the top post. That's good. Altcoin calls. No idea what that is, so I'm not even going to click on it. No idea what that is. So there's a lot of this stuff that is relevant, a lot of this stuff that's not relevant. We should be all, look at that. Hex in the morning.
Pulse. Who is that? Who click on that one? Who did that?
This is Pulse Tube.
Pulse Tube.
This is a new, watch this, Sam.
Pulse Tube.
This is a new streaming platform to show all the streamers in real time. It's a website to go to show can you see it?
Yeah.
So yeah, and so he actually has been DMing me. We're going to be premiering on this website, Sam.
Dope.
So yeah, we have a timer on this website as well. There's a timer for our show in the morning. So guys, go to thepulsetube.com. I don't know if it's 100% finished or like what he was been telling me he's working on it, and so I don't know if this is his final product, but it looks dope to me. I don't know much about websites, but if my face is on it, I like it.
I like my face. I'm going to actually create a statue of myself doing something epic and put it in my dad's front lawn and be like, hey, Dad, I got you a gift. And just show up there and have this giant bronze statue of me like flexing in his lawn. It's like 12 feet tall, and just leave it there. And he won't be able to move it or anything like that. Maybe have a water fountain coming out of my, or whatever, because I think that would be hilarious. But when it comes to Instagram, the quality of the people talking about Pulse or Pulse X is just not there. And I think it's a tremendous opportunity. There's a guy in business who literally, have you ever heard of
dude just messaged me from the comments into my IG, said just bought my first Hex tokens.
Hell yeah, man.
Hey, if you need any help, just keep DMing me about that. If you need any more help, I saw that DM. I'll answer it later. But yeah, my DMs are open for legit questions on Instagram for sure. Like if you have a legit question on Instagram, Twitter, no legit questions on Twitter, only links because there's too many. But on Instagram, it's like totally chill.
It is. So, okay, perfect point here. So on Instagram, it is if you're trying to get a hold of one of us, it is probably easier to get through the noise on Instagram because of what we just showed you. There's not as many people on Instagram trying to be like, yo, Sam, what's up? Hey, Sam, what's up? And talk about different things and communicate with different things. I did a 30-minute walk this morning for cardio for the fitness challenge. And I just answered messages the entire 30 minutes. And I didn't even get through all the messages I have on my phone. So on Instagram, I can get through all the messages. There's maybe like 15 or 20 messages. So I can get through that relatively quick, right? But on Twitter, there's a boatload more, which is amazing. I appreciate it. And I do work at getting those. But like, it's just like you just try to slow the growth of the pile of messages that you're collecting to try to get through them. And on Instagram, if you're trying to get through, it's way easier to get through. So definitely jump over there and follow. Plus, if you like fitness related content or that kind of stuff, I post a lot more of that type of stuff. I'm transitioning up more crypto related content over there in terms of the reels. But I haven't really started to ramp that up. Hey, GRC, we should do that 90-day challenge instead of doing it on TikTok like I did previously with really good results where I was getting like at the peak 5 million views.
You did a challenge on TikTok?
I was doing 10 videos a day.
I know you had a TikTok that was good. I didn't know you did a challenge though.
10 videos a day. 10 videos a day on TikTok. Or organic, original content.
You're sick.
10 videos a day. I had two accounts, bro. I was doing 20 pieces of content per day.
You're sick.
10 per, yeah. Okay. So, and I wasn't cross-promoting those, and then I put them on Instagram. Anyways, we should do that. We should do something like that on Instagram Reels. Because Instagram Reels, I had an Instagram Reel the other day, and just from like
pull it up.
From a standpoint of garnering attention, right?
Explain it, and then explain like the whole point about, because we're talking more about marketing a little bit now, right? So
yes,
explain to this, because I don't know, it's probably about bodybuilding or whatever. That doesn't matter. I want to hear it anyway, unless it's super weird. But what do you mean when you say you think there's basically what he's saying, guys, is he thinks there might be a little traction, a little opportunity that hasn't been tapped into, that hasn't been mined into on Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. I would assume he would say similar, and TikTok, and anything with these Reels when it comes to crypto.
TikTok is kind of like burned out a little bit for me.
I agree. Totally agree.
It's not what it once was, but Reels. So when you think about it, so if you're into marketing, if you're trying to get attention, if you're trying to grow a brand, if you're trying to build anything, you can build it in a way. You just have to be creative and resourceful enough to tell it in the context that makes sense of the platform, right? Instagram, you tell stories differently than you do on TikTok and that you do on YouTube, etc., or Twitter, right? When you look at all these different places where you can gather attention, there's different moments in time where different portions of platforms or different platforms in general are basically giving away a bunch of free content or free attention, or people are just not maximizing it, or for whatever reason, it's just over indexing because there's something happening in culture and you can get a lot of attention around that. And when I look at
that's what we're doing, right? Like we could study crypto in silence and have the same result, correct?
Yes.
We are doing this because it's sticky and we want to provide content and it's sticky. So we like it. We're going to provide content anyway, or at least Sam was, right? So like I kind of started doing content off this, but Sam kind of knew, and I think anyone knew, I kind of wanted to make content. I just didn't know how to get into it yet. And I was still working on my money and shit. So I like did,
this has been 60 days, 75 days for you. Like this is just the beginning.
Yeah, guys, come on. GRC is crushing it. Smash the like, smash the subscribe. I can't even lie to the people. I've been parabolic ever since I jumped on this live streams. Let's be honest, guys. Smash that like. I'm going to be trying to give the most transparent information I could possibly muster from my brain, and it's not always the guys, call me out. It's okay if GRC is wrong. And if I would like it in the comments right away, because just like the Hedron guys came at me with the fire stakes, I learned, and we're doing a full episode on Hedron. And Sam, they are implementing a Hedron staking feature. Yes, Sam, we're talking about Hedron staking feature that's coming in. So along with the tokenized stakes, along with all the buying and selling of the stakes. Okay, so here is Sam's video.
So this is I want to learn about that, but just to wrap this up, Instagram Reels, I just checked the analytics as you were mentioning this, just to make sure I could have data to show you guys. The last 5 reels that I posted around different topics. This one's is with my nephew, the Tesla. If you guys are not aware, if you press the button to talk to it and you say open butthole, it actually opens the charging port, right? And my nephew thought that was awesome, right? Like this feature, this is actually a real thing. But that's this video that got almost 3,000 plays. Now you're like, okay, well that's cool because you're talking about something related to a Tesla and butthole, right? Like there's people who would find that fascinating and maybe watch that. However, 5 other reels. There's 2 within the gym, another one with my nephew just doing goofy crap, and they're all over-indexing. GRC, you need to do reels more. I'm getting a massive amount of over-indexing, like I was with TikTok. Not as extreme as TikTok, but
TikTok,
I'm getting
a lot more of it is spam too on TikTok. Not saying that it's not just, but like it's a little more as far as I noticed. Like I get more followers on like if I posted that thing this morning and like 3 fitness accounts followed me that were like actually good. You know what I mean? But on TikTok, it would have just been like, you got 50 followers. None of them will interact except like 2. So it's different. It's a little bit more sticky on IG. It's a little bit more like they see your profile. They want to follow it. They want to follow you. Whereas TikTok, it's like, oh, you had a video that blows up. I'll follow him. But like, you know what I mean? And
But
people are going to check. If I do that again tomorrow morning, people will be like, oh, this dude's every day doing the fitness, cool little. And, you know, they're really sticky because they do all the work for you. They give you, and this is something that I would tell you for your fitness stuff, like every once in a while, do one of those trendy videos, but not about like a dance or anything, just like you working out, but then like all the, you know, sound and shit, right? Because all you have to do is sit there and just look ripped. And then they can just do like the automatic little audio and you just clip, like I did this morning. It seems so dramatic, but I was like, I just scrolled up like 3 months and just clicked 3 random videos and it turned into like some dramatic little like, and then the music and they do a lot of the work for you is kind of what I'm saying. That's like my point is like, you don't have to do anything except record the S you do. And then you can put more or less effort in depending on how much or little content you want to put out. Like the more, probably a little less detail with the production value, the less. Some people do 1 video a week and it's like perfect, right? And then that's just their vibe.
What if you could get 2,500 or 2,000 views on every single one of these that you posted?
Sam, like, you know, I got 1,000 followers on IG in the last week.
I did not know that. Congrats.
Because Richard I posted.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. So but what did I do when Richard retweeted that? I didn't just say, oh, sweet, Richard retweeted. I followed every single person that interacted with that tweet. I'm pretty sure. And on Instagram. So that's what I do, guys. I like to do it. It's fun. It's like it's
growth hacking. It's fun.
It's a game. It's like it's fun to do. It's easy. I have time to do it. And I think the content that I put across is valuable. So it's like I feel like I'm advertising for the right reason, right? I'm trying to let people see my stuff because I'm like, I'm probably going to save you if you listen to this stuff, to be real.
Okay.
Terra Luna, I'm going to read a Terra Luna article once you finish your next statement about the most updated revival plan notes, how they're sending all this money around. People
why don't you go into that, and then I wanted to ask you about the Hedron staking thing. So let's cover the revival.
Wait, where did my mans go? I had my mans down below. Are you still here, my guy?
Did we forget about him? I actually missed it.
I forgot about him for a second, but I was going to invite him up. Hey, if you didn't think I saw you down there, my man P, come back in and I'll jump you in. Anyone that I invited, check your DM and you could come in. I just didn't. I wasn't ready. I'm just spaz right now. So, yeah, let's
Terra Luna.
Let's see how Daquan's doing real quick. I love his name too, just because it's like funny. Terraform co-founder Daquan said, "Float Terra revival plan. Wife sought police protection. Reports looking a little stressed out." New York Terraform, and I haven't checked any of this, guys, so this could be the whack article, but like, let's read it. Terraform Labs, which is incorporated in Singapore, is working on ways to keep its Terra blockchain and ecosystem going despite the collapse of its cryptocurrency stablecoin, according to the blog post attributed to co-founder Daquan. The proposal includes the redistribution of ownership of the blockchain network to investors. Okay, who saw the value of their Terra USD stablecoin and Luna tokens get wiped out last week. The proposition titled Terra Ecosystem Revival Plan would distribute 1 billion new Luna tokens to UST and Luna holders. Mr. Kwan did not respond to requests for comments made over Twitter and Telegram. Whether the proposal would save the blockchain remains in question. The network had relied heavily on investors' confidence to make its algorithmic stablecoin work before the meltdown last week. Yeah, so basically they sold the top on everyone's head by saying Bitcoin was going to help the stablecoin. It was the exact thing that wrecked it. If passed, sorry, I added that. That was not in the text. If passed, the proposal also raises other questions, such as how centralized exchanges that allow trading of Luna and UST would be able to distribute the new tokens to their users. That would be very difficult. UST, a token that primarily uses algorithms rather than collateral to adjust its supply and maintain one-to-one peg with the United States dollar, a sister coin, Luna, have lost amount of their value, have lost almost all their value, while activity on the underlying Terra blockchain was twice suspended. Man, feels good to be on the Terra Luna blockchain. Just kidding. I'm sorry. If you got hurt by this, I'm sorry. A month after reaching, okay, this is like the last part I'll read. A month after reaching a record of $119 for each Luna, once a fourth largest cryptocurrency in the world, collapsed to virtually zero and has been pulled from the major exchanges like Binance. UST, meanwhile, was trading below 10 cents on Monday. So the collapse spreads their digital coins, knocking some 300 billion off crypto trillion dollar total. Wow, Sam, they just knocked off 300 billion from
off of the total market cap of crypto.
My God,
bro, this is if you saw the tweet, if you literally saw my tweet the other day, and maybe Bullish can find it or not, but it effectively goes through and says when this was first happening, is this the catalyst that goes through and pops the balloon so that we're in a real big bear market in crypto, pulling everything else down. And we can see that. I just looked up the prices while you were reading through that. The UST stable is at 7 cents, down 55% today.
How many USTs for one stable coin? That is the question. Oh, golly, guys. If you're trading this, you're an absolute savage, and I wish the best for you. But please, God, if you don't have any money, don't trade this stuff. Please, 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 please. This is not financial advice. Do not trade this stuff, please. Guys, real quick. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just Terra Luna, like their token. So you got UST and Luna.
Good. Let's look at that weekly.
You have a down 38% in the last 24 hours from a high of like $96 here in April. $97.
Look at the candles, how small they are. They can't even go down any more fractions. They're just like flatlining.
It's all just completely flatlining. They can't show you how
or exit liquidity at this point, guys. So just stop. Please stop. 100%. And the revival plan is going to work out beautifully because God loves revival plans. Guys, let's watch this.
The collapse of a stablecoin called Terra USD has sent shockwaves across the cryptocurrency market. Terra, which is meant to maintain a one-to-one peg with the US dollar, crashed to a low of 20 cents on Wednesday. Well, it's been a tough few weeks for cryptocurrencies, with Bitcoin and Ethereum both falling over 50% since their record highs late last year.
I think the Federal Reserve hiking interest rates definitely has a strong contributing factor to what we're seeing in these markets. As we know, when the Fed pulls back liquidity, generally the risky assets do not perform as well. But for cryptocurrencies in particular, we noticed that they trade with a very high beta to technology stocks. So when the Fed was raising interest rates, you see that the NASDAQ was also one of the poorest performers this year. And I think that has a sentiment spill over to the cryptocurrency space. Of course, last year as well, one of the strong points supporting cryptocurrency was that it was a hedge against monetary debasement. So when the Fed was printing currency and cutting interest rates, it was very positive, a momentum driver for cryptocurrencies. Coming into this year, when the Fed is tightening monetary policy and also raising interest rates, that argument that you had last year kind of holds less water. And I think that's where you're seeing the sentiment shift to a bit more negative territory. For cryptocurrencies in particular, we are still in the early innings of what we are seeing as risk in the stablecoin market. As you've mentioned earlier, the Terra had lost its peg to the dollar, that one-to-one peg. One thing that's actually worth paying attention to is the other stablecoin Tether, which is the largest market cap stablecoin that we have today and accounts for about 70% of the stablecoin market. So over the last few days, we have seen that lose its peg against the dollar as well. So it remains to be seen whether this is going to continue to exacerbate the situation, knowing that stablecoin is kind of the key bridge between the cryptocurrency space and the fiat currency space. So this one requires close watching.
I don't know.
Thanks for watching.
Do you think that crypto needs a stable coin pegged to $1, or do you think that it's also kind of like I see like layer ones playing less of a role in the public eye, kind of like Intel processors? Like, okay, cool, you have an Intel processor, nobody gives a shit. Like, you have an HP or Apple, right, or whatever computer you get, where nobody really pays attention unless you're super into the tech of what Snapdragon chip you have in SoC you have in your smartphone. Well, like, I might pay attention to that a little bit, but 99.999% of people don't pay attention to like the A15 or that's going to be in the Apple phone. And I see the same thing playing out with like layer ones in blockchain like Pulse. And so when I see that for layer ones, like diminishing the role of prominence, I think that could play out with stable coins into the future. Hexacat thinks that they do need a stable coin. I'm not necessarily sold on that. I think it could be just a temporary thing that goes away into the future, because it's just tying shit to something that's dead. Like, you
tell me in your
mind,
mind, when will the switch happen and how will it happen in a broad way? Obviously, you won't know the names of everything, but like,
do you think that tying yourself to something like legacy banking is a good idea for you personally? Like, if you
hell no.
Okay, so why do you think a stable coin tied to some garbage called the USD?
For me in particular, though, I am a nomad of sorts. So like you are as well. So it's kind of like we want to pay attention to that stuff really heavily, but like for your average user, maybe that's not so important. You know what I mean? Like, my mom doesn't care about interacting with the bank. She would surely not mind. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we care. Yeah, we will take advantage of whatever tax implications we can with our own research.
Okay,
and tax advisor, of course.
We were talking about marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, and branding and all that kind of stuff. So from a brand standpoint, from a marketing perspective, from a PR standpoint of presenting it to the world, like, as we already know what's going to happen with USD. It's not going to necessarily happen today. It's not going to happen tomorrow. There's a decent chance we're going to see something like another 50% decrease in the value of $1 by the end of the decade, in my opinion, right? And that's going to continue to take place as we progress through time. But is it like a wise idea to attach a brand to something that is dying, like whether it's Tether or USDC or something? I don't know. I don't know if it's needed in the space in the future. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I think of cryptos as, you know, if you think of like a topography, so like land moving up and down, right? Like a digital land moving up and down is how I think about crypto. And the energy is going to flow wherever the thing is, whether it's hype or whether it's something that's actual true utility. And you see that flowing between different cryptos back and forth, up and down. Mentally, that's changing the topography of the crypto land space for me. And I just don't see in the long term, could be 100% wrong. If I am wrong, you're watching this 6 years from today, clip this and post it for me so that I have some stuff to show you that I also don't know what the fuck I'm talking about when I talk about shit. And this is just my opinion on this. But I don't think that is going to be around in the future, whether it's 10 years or 15 years down the road. It just doesn't seem like we're gonna have better alternatives, I would think. I don't know. I know a lot of people probably don't agree with that, but it's.
I just checked the website for the staking feature on Hedron for any information, and it wasn't on there. So if anyone has a link to that, I just looked at. It's not on the white paper, obviously, but just let me know.
How is that going to work? What's your you
No,
have
at the
a little
bottom
bit of
of
an
it,
understanding.
you can pay off the loan. You can do that, or you could stake it. I'm sure it'll just be one more externality.
So you could take your Hedron and instead of selling it, now you can stake it.
Or instead of selling it, you can stake it.
And staking is going to give you
some sort of value somewhere.
I have a live with Crypto Sloth, and I think he's a big fan.
God, he loves Hedron.
He loves Hedron. So when I talk, that's in a week or so. So when I have that conversation with him, I will dive into that and get a better understanding.
Hexmarket.com. Why have I never heard of that? I'd love to see a new website. Watch me get liquidated. What if T-Bird's like, dude, I'll send it right back. I just had to show you not to click on shit. I'm waiting for someone to hack me and give it back and be like, you got to watch your security, bro.
That would be hilarious. You just open the door for people that can do that too.
I'm like the test net, like for hacking. Like people just hack me and then I report it. I'm like another.
To create.
So we're going to watch a little bit of this video and we're going to comment on it if you have the time.
Yes. So I'll get off here at 12:45. So make sure you guys press that.
12:52. Okay.
The founder of hexmarket.com. Marketplace specifically focused on encapsulated hex stakes. So if you like NFTs, but not necessarily expensive JPEGs, then you'll definitely want to tune in to see what I'm about to show you. Now, guys, in the last video I created, I showed you concepts or designs of how Hex Market could look. But today is a very special day because I'm going to actually show you guys what's been built so far and that's running on testnet. So without further ado, let's dive into this. So as you guys can see, and by all means, this isn't the final version. As we launch and we'll continually improve the UI. After this video, I'm going to showcase, or I'm going to do a deep dive and actually improve on the UI and make recommendations. So if you guys have any feedback, make sure to comment down below. But first and foremost, I'm going to connect to MetaMask. So as we can see, there's one item available for sale. I'm going to click on this. Now, guys, remember, this is on testnet. This is pulling a real HSI or a hex stake instance created on Hedron. Okay, so here's the breakdown. It shows you both the USD and hex terms, the principal, interest, and the total amounts. It shows you the mintable Hedron, as well as, and once again, I'm going to improve on the UI, but it shows you the dollar amount as well based on today's market value. And then on the right-hand side here, it shows you the breakdown of this specific stake. So it's about 1.31% completed, and it gives you all that information, as well as how many T-shares and the dollar amount there, and then how much it's going to earn with the emergency end stake value. So guys, the goal of here is to give you information.
So that's interesting, because one of the things that I got to figure out how to do, if anybody's interested or has already done this and wants to come on and talk with me separately, or if you want to come on here, I'm sure GRC might be interested in this as well, is going through the valuation of a HSI stake.
We have Alex from Hedron coming on here to do a one-on-one with us, or a one-on-two with us, to talk about, because I told him I need to go revisit it all. I need it. I want it top to bottom, because I'm starting to get bullish on Hedron.
Tag team, is that what they say in the business?
Yeah, it's a three-way.
Yeah. Okay. I want to know, how do you value that? Right? Because you have to. How do you value the HSI? How do you value that in the market?
It depends on the activity in the network.
but it would be, there has to be some way, and Crypto Sloth was trying to explain this to me, and I was.
Hey, which one
I
of
was
you
like,
Hedron folks wants 15 minutes? Come on here and talk us out while we're watching this video. Go ahead, sir.
But no, I just find that interesting because I want to understand how to value it, and what he was talking about in the video might actually be part of, could be value in that if something's built in to help with that value proposition. Because another opportunity I see, Crypto Sloth is, okay, bro, Crypto Sloth, if you want to jump on later today or something like that, and talk about this,
He
because
says
I
it's
want
multifactorial. I think that's what he's trying to say is,
Yep.
again, when we start talking about speculative value, Sam, and zeros, and liquidity, how that can go quick.
But think about this. You know how Maxi, you understand the value prop of Maxi, right?
Yes.
Okay, and has all those different pieces into it.
Mhm.
Well, so hack the HSI stake has the two of them in there, right?
Mhm.
And
What are they?
You have Hedron and you have Hex.
Yeah.
Like staked out into the future at some period of time, right? You don't have the peripheral things that Maxi has, but you have those two things. But because the market is much smaller, because it is fragmented, as in your NFT staked at 69 days is different than my NFT that's staked at 412 days.
Well, just like Hedron, you're just going to do the speculative value of the stake, and you're going to extrapolate that for the time, and you're going to put a minimum on the price on a spreadsheet. And then you're going to have a baseline for what the value would be, and then everything above that is speculative.
So the semantics of what you just described is where I want Crypto Sloth.
So where is the exact moment where semantics is
finding the information and then to actually put this together. So I took some time to actually try to dive into it, and I was like, I think I'm going to talk to somebody else about this to see how they're thinking about this, because that presents a big opportunity. If you want to buy Hex at a discount,
Sam,
you can do this. You could do this.
And Sam, it's tradable.
NFTs. Correct.
There's value in that, Sam. So don't let that switch by anyone in the comments. Like when you add a function to something, it becomes more valuable. Why? Because guys like me don't like having our stuff locked in staking contracts because they are forever. And I hate thinking about having my computer and all my S and all my treasures forever. It's like, oh God, I'm just going to have 150 wallets by the end of my life. But with stuff like this and Maxi, what happens if I have any negative feelings about my security in particular with my Maxi bag? I send it to another wallet. That is a security feature, in my opinion, that people don't talk enough about.
Well, bro, what you were just describing. So one of the things that happened with Maxi that is, I would bet money on it, is happening with Hedron. You just mentioned something with a staking feature, which I'm sure that I will probably do a video on, or Crypto Sloth and I will get together.
We're going to get all to the bottom of that concern.
We'll get all the information on that to understand what's actually going on in there. But then you go through, and when a utility, that means value, is added to something, it does not always translate in the marketplace. So the HSI stake that sells as an NFT on OpenSea is selling at some price. Do you think the people in OpenSea have any effing idea what that is? No. The only people who are going over there and diving in to truly understand it is people like us. That means the price of those NFTs could be suppressed, or people just need to get rid of their shit because life happens to them and they didn't plan appropriately, or whatever the case is. So those could be selling at a discount. And that is currently, they could be selling at a discount because of all the way of what I just described. Selling an OpenSea, nobody knows what it is. The time to go over there, you have to understand the platform. Then you also have to understand Hex. You have to understand Hedron. All of this understanding, nobody on OpenSea has. We do, but now Hedron, as what you're saying, and I don't fully understand it, has extra utility. What does that mean? Extra value that they're thinking about adding to the system, which means that they're going to add this thing to the system, and then it's not going to translate into an increase in the prices. So that means a deeper discount that we can actually buy something at.
Well, Sam, every time there's a speculative asset that comes out with a new thing, in my opinion, just this has helped me understand it while you said it. It's like there's always going to be a negative premium when you start. Like, other than in Maxi, where it was like there was a 14-day mint period where we had the time to understand the premium, and we were the only ones receiving it because we were doing the 1-for-1. Only the hex stakers were doing the 1-for-1, right? But now all these guys have, the people that wanted Maxi was a little more intentional, if you know what I mean. Everyone that got the free airdrop of Hedron, a lot of sell pressure, right? Different tokenomics, 100%. Let's not get that twisted for 1 second. But what do I know about these assets? They move together when they lock in together at some point. It doesn't mean that they lock in because people trade within them, Sam. And that's exactly what we always get at, right? There is speculative value because the ecosystem trades within these things, because they understand. Randy Hilarski understands the intrinsic value of these stakes, so he looks at stuff like that. There are guys in here that want to be whales in different ways too. Like, you can be a whale one day if you have enough conviction in a product that you like. And there's opportunity and stuff like Hedron while everyone else is talking about Hex. What if Hedron does a 20,000x? And it's just, people don't understand, like, it's the Wild West again. Like, and if these things move together, what if the tokenomics for Hedron were just what it needed for extreme price action? What if the price, maybe these guys are just a little smarter than we give them, since they put their whole entire life into working on this stuff. That's how I think. I bet on those guys. Like, once I vet that shit and like look at them, and I talked to Alex and all those guys a million times, it's like they're clearly in this to win this. So they must have had some foresight when they were learning to do this, or else they would have been embarrassed, right? They're Hexicans. Everyone knows who they are.
And
So,
they go ahead.
No, you.
They might have actually learned that, like, so people like me, and there's plenty of other people like me, we've talked to them in the community, who were like, I don't really like Hedron. I don't see a point in necessarily holding that. If I want to use Hedron for something, I'll go buy Hedron, but I don't see a point in holding Hedron personally. So they're like, wait, how can we make Hedron even better? So people like that weirdo online who talks about no point in holding Hedron in their wallet, Sam, well, that might actually be interested in holding that. What if we added a staking feature that allows you to earn yield in some capacity to this?
I'd be staking, because my Hedron's sitting in there right now, and I'm just collecting it as the months go by. Every month I just dump it in, just whatever, because I like to see it move. And I've done it twice now, I think. And it just sits there and it goes up and down, and I bought a little bit here and there. But Sam, if two things are going to move together, right, at some point, if you're going to speculate that, there will be some trading like within those things for value, because at the end of the day, the underlying asset's the same. They're derivative plays. And if you don't understand that, you know, you'll get there at some point, but it's just, they've moved together. When you have a derivative play, the underlying asset has to move with that asset if they're working together, right? If it's working out, like, things can obviously crash, right? So in my brain, once they catch hold and everyone understands what we understand after a week, and when we really dive into this, it's going to be like there's going to be way more price action potentially on Hedron due to some of the tokenomics within the speculative range too.
But they need, in my opinion, I think they need a staking feature. They need something of utility.
No, but Sam, people. I'm telling you, I think we're underplaying the buying and selling and liquidation of those HSI stakes. People want to sell their S, dude.
Yeah, but bro, there's 123 people watching, and out of those 123 people, there's going to be 2 people who go check out. There's going to be 1 fucker who goes.
Yeah, but they're going to be the rich ones, and in 2 years, it'll just be adopted.
Possibly. No, I'm open to it, and I could be 100% like,
because within the Hedron, there is some speculative, like, we need more people to be in it, right? Like, there is some of that. It's not just like everything has adoption variables as well. It's all multifactorial when it comes to adoption, and we're talking about Pulse Chain now. We're talking about a lot of things have to go right, but I mean, we're all betting on the same horse here, so.
No, but you also have good points. They're going to be obviously correlated. Those two are in some fashion, maybe not 1-for-1, but somewhere positive correlation, because if Hex goes up, what is Hedron? It's some type of derivative play off of Hex, right? So it's going to have some correlation in some fashion to that, and I definitely agree. And if you think that Hex could have, 1,000x over the next 36 months or something, right, then maybe Hedron has, whatever, 1,000x or something, or whatever, half of whatever it is in Hex or something. But adding on the staking feature, I think, is awesome.
You made me stop.
I apologize. Let's get back into this video.
That helps you make an informed decision as to whether or not you should buy it. This isn't the final version. Once we launch, we're going to improve on this. So, for example, we thought it would be cool to have you can borrow Hedron against your HSI, and so maybe it shows you, well, if I buy this, well, how much can I borrow against it at Hedron's market value today? Also, we want to add additional features that will showcase future payouts, right? So obviously, this is a snapshot as to where this HSI or this encapsulated hex stake is now. But what about if this is a 15-year stake, where are we at in 3 years? What can we calculate to see what the expected future value is? With, once again, the main initiative or the main goal here is to help you make an informed decision as to whether or not this is a good buy and so forth. All right, guys. So, you know what? I like this. I'm going to actually go ahead and buy it. So, MetaMask is going to pop up. I'm going to confirm the transaction. Now, one of the UI improvements that we're going to have to make, I want a little spinner thing here so I know when it's confirmed. So I have to manually look to see when it goes through. So let's see. Do I have any jokes to tell you guys while this transaction is pending? So let's see. What other news do we have as well? And take it from there. So I'm going to try to speed up this trend. Showed you guys this screen yet, but this is pulling from my MetaMask wallet. So I have 3 now, 3 NFTs. But this is the one I just bought. Okay, guys. Now for the end of this demo, I'm going to show you guys how to actually. We just bought an HSI, so now I want to show you how we can sell it. So these are all the ones listed for sale. If I go to the home screen, you can see that there's no more items up for sale. So I'm going to click on the sell button on the top right, and we got the 3 in my wallet that's pulling from MetaMask. I'm going to go ahead and sell this one. This is right now we're launching on Ethereum. Eventually this will be PLS, but you can input the amount of ETH you want to sell it at. It shows you the dollar amounts as well. So let's do. I don't want to make it too much because I might want to buy this later. But let's put 0.01 ETH, so that's around $22, and click on complete listing. First, we need to approve this item first. So I'm going to wait for that to 0.02 down to the wire for long. Say, John, you can actually earn. So we have a fee on the marketplace. Part of the fee that's collected when a buy or sell occurs will be distributed to the Hedron stakers as well. If you want to learn more about that, stake out at lunch. I'm super stoked to wait for that to approve. And then once this approves, then I'm going to confirm it for the listing amount of 0.01 ETH. So we'll give that a couple of minutes. Guys, we are coming down to the wire for launch. I'm super stoked. We're still gunning for May 15th. The initial launch will just be the marketplace. And then shortly thereafter, I would say maybe within 2 weeks, we want Hedron staking. And when you stake your Hedron, you can actually earn. So we have a fee on the marketplace. Part of the fee that's collected when a buy or sell occurs will be distributed to the Hedron stakers as well. If you want to learn more about that, make sure you go to hexmarket.com and read the light paper there. That will provide more information. And let's see if I can speed this transaction up here. So give that a couple of minutes. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe this video. We want to get the word out, not only about Hedron and creating encapsulated hex stakes, but also that you can now buy an existing one. So, looks like it just approved. Okay, let's click on confirm now. And wait for that. Yeah, guys, very exciting. I'm super stoked. I think this is the beginning of something awesome. One thing I love about these encapsulated hex stakes and the ability to buy existing ones, there's going to be a period in the future. Oh, looks like the NFT just listed for sale. And as we can see, it's popped up here. All right, guys, in conclusion, I'll end the video here. But, one final thought that I want to leave you guys. Obviously, right now, we're super excited about Pulse mainnet coming out. Super excited about Hedron. Super excited about hexmarket.com and the marketplace that we're offering. Guys, the future is looking really good. And what I mean by that is I'm looking at this stake up for sale right here. I get a breakdown of everything that is showing up, right? What makes this so powerful is I now have the ability, or we now have the ability to forgive our past selves. You know that feeling when
So that seems like the guy who's behind the hex staking, and it's not going to be native to Hedron because I think Hedron, if I remember correctly, is immutable and it's done.
I got you. I got you. We're going to read the white paper real quick, the section on staking on hexmarket.com real quick. I got you. It's pulled up.
And this is a separate so you take your
so
Hedron.
This guy founded Hexmarket. It's all right here on the info page. So it's pretty quick. Let me pull
on the
this
same page.
All right, hold on.
Why does tokenizing your hex
Real quick. Why does tokenizing your stakes as an NFT even matter? You've locked up a hex 555 for 5555 days, but you'd like to sell earlier for whatever reason. If you need cash, unexpected life events, it would be nice to have options to cash out without emergency end staking, and because then you'll have the fees, of course. Conversely, maybe you're a true hexakin that wants to buy existing stakes to add to your portfolio. This is more so what Sam would be thinking about, like the arbitrage opportunity between the value of hex alone. You may end up having a better deal than you were creating stake natively. I totally agree. Who are the founders and developers? Mike, DeFi Mike, guys. Get DeFi Mike on my show. Go to him and spam him. DeFi Mike, tell him we want him on. DeFi Mike.
Yes.
I like DeFi Mike, and I like that he knows how to stream, and we're also going to have Alex on, so why not DeFi Mike too? Which blockchain will you be launching on? Hexmarket.com is built for Pulse Chain. We plan to launch on Ethereum until Pulse Chain mainnet occurs. So they're doing the little reversal on that one. They're going Pulse Chain, then back to ETH for the staking feature to connect Hexmarket.com. Very interesting. How do I even turn my Hex stake into an NFT? All right, I want to see about the staking. How does staking work? All right, well, let's do this first. How much does it cost to use Hexmarket? We are free to list. We charge this is Sam, this is for you, so you got to help me on this one. We charge 2.22% fee for the encapsulated hex stake cells, which half of these fees, 50%, will be directly benefit the Hedron community. Okay, so let's break down the fees. Okay, 0.55% of the fees, buy and burn of Hedron, benefit Hedron community. 0.5555 fee, buy and distribute for Hedron stakers. That goes back to the community. 0.55% bonus wallet. See, do you plan to have a sacrifice phase to learn more? Okay, I guess there's another bonus wallet that'll be coming out at some point, and another 0.555% for the Hex market fee, adding up with the 0.15%. The Hedron flow address of 0.15% will be honored, which will be deducted from the fees above. Don't necessarily know what that means, but guys, you got that information. Do all the digging you want. Is it a good deal? Is it a bad deal? Is Hex Marketplace rugging us? No, I'm just kidding. But just there it is. Hex staking. Staking for Hedron, how does it work? This is where I kind of want to learn. Oh, and then the sacrifice pace part. Cool.
That sounds like on just on those fees really quick. Just did it for marketing, obviously, where you're doing 5.555 for the fees for each one, but that's not actually what it is. If you read the last line there, there's stars. It says there's 0.15% that goes to the flow address for Hedron. So
can you tell me about what that means in real life terms?
So like they have these 4 fees, right? They're like, oh, it's 2.2%. That's split up into these 4 categories that goes here, 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 and here, right? We just read that. Mm-hmm. Then right below it, it says, well, actually, all these fees are slightly less because we're deducting this shit from them. But you can't do that for marketing purposes because then you can't put the 555 right like thing up there. So it's just the marketing is on there, but like once you read through this stuff 1,000 times, you're like, oh, okay, well, this is not.
And similar verbiage in other research studies, not about the fees, but you understand verbiage. And once you read enough of these studies and you realize that it's all generally marketing, it's okay. Don't be alarmed. Don't run away. You know what I mean? That's what I always like to tell people. Like, don't be afraid to make money. Again, we're just going to read it. We're going to talk about it. It doesn't, just because it's a fee doesn't mean the dude's rugging everyone. You know,
and it's not necessarily bad either.
But
like,
at the same time, if this dude's making $1.5 billion and blowing, doing Miami stuff and the price is going to zero, you know, it's a different story. You know what I mean? So it's just all in context, right? So how does hex staking, how does staking work on the Hedron? So stake your Hedron to earn from encapsulated hex stakes being sold on Hex Market. Visit hedron.pro to learn more about Hedron and how to purchase. Hedron stakers can create multiple stakes. However, each stake is for a period of 1 year. Guys, this is specific info, so pay attention. A period of 1 year. However, each stake is for a period of 1 year, which gives them the right to receive rewards. After the 1 year stake ends, very interesting, guys. I'm absolutely interested right now. You will no longer receive rewards, and you must restake for another year to continue receiving rewards. Very interesting. You have the decision to make right there. They say, do you want to continue staking for another year, or would you like to cash out your rewards? Very interesting. I wonder how that'll play out in price action. Rewards. Well, rewards will be in Hedron via buy and redistribute mechanism. Sam, we'll look into that, Sam. Redistribute mechanisms. That's interesting. Let me get my scratch pad out. at specific points in time to be TBD. What's TBD?
To be determined.
To be determined. At a specific point in time to be determined. Oh, I see. The rewards address will purchase Hedron at market value and distribute. Okay, so the rewards address, a specific point in time to be determined, the rewards address will purchase Hedron at market value and redistribute the Hedron to Hedron stakers on Hex Marketplace. So, Sam, the only thing that lacks specificity here.
Can you scroll? Keep that highlighted. Scroll up just a smidge so I can see the fees again. Tiny bit more so I can see the top fee. Okay, so it says buy and burn benefit the buy and distribute Hedron stakers. So that fee right there of the Hedron is not selling, it's for buying to start HSS auction, which is burned. Okay, so you know the 2.22% fee right there?
Yes, sir.
That they talked about? Okay, so the second one, buy and distribute the Hedron stakers.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit less than a quarter if you take into the 0.15% at the bottom, but a little less than 0.25% of the total fee coming in is going to go out and purchase Hedron. From my understanding of what you just read, is going to go purchase Hedron in the open market and then distribute it to the people who stake in that, wall like protocol thing that they're putting forth or whatever. Interesting. I don't have a lot to say on it. It doesn't I don't know. It's going to depend on the adoption 100%. And who, if it's just people who are listing their shit, who are staking it, all right, then why don't you just lower the fee?
I don't think it will be that. I think,
but correct, 100% correct.
Yeah, and we're gonna dive really deep into the game theory and the tokenized stakes as well. Me and Sam are gonna dive all the way down that with Alex when he comes on, and whatever other studies we do. So I'm not very specific on that for almost launch. We're going to want some specifics on that so I can pin my elbow to your temple. No, I'm kidding. No, but in general, we just want to know, we like specifics on this show, guys. And this is what we're doing right now in general is more what me and Sam do. Like, this is what we like to do. Like, we like to look at documentation. We don't like to call out people for random stuff. We just like to read documentation and let them fail if they're going to fail, and let them succeed if they're going to succeed. And we'll give the people that have no clue the best information we can in between by reading the facts, not listening to a telephone from 100 different people that have no idea what they're talking about. It's absolutely ridiculous what people claim they know. and they claim it just because they have a lot of money. It's ridiculous. It's
and if you like this kind of stuff, you will probably like the other videos that I have on my YouTube channel where I will cover stuff in depth, but it will just be me talking to the camera about whatever it is that I've been studying or looking into. What's up to Molly? Hey guys, this is the perfect time for me to actually tell you to jump down below. Motley says that I cannot beat him in my Twitter following by July 30th. So July 30th is about 75 days away. He's got over 14,000 followers, and I've got 3,300 followers. So if you want to help out, jump over to Twitter. Link down below. Press the follow button. Press the retweet on something that you find value in, and that'll definitely be helpful. Valiant Brand. GRC and Sam have the best crypto show. Awesome. Appreciate it.
I want to read the end of this document. Are you going to stick around for just the last 2 paragraphs, or you got to go?
Yeah. No, for these last 2 bits, and then I'll get off.
Okay, so how staking works, we read a little bit of it, and then we ended up right here at this buy and distribute mechanism in quotation marks. So we wrote that down on our scratch pad for study. Distribution of rewards will be, oh, am I pulled up? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yes, I got you.
Okay, so distribution of rewards will be relative to A, total hedron staked, and B, if those stakes are active, less than 369 days served. For example, if 10 hedron are staked in total, and you have 1 stake with 1 hedron, you will receive 1/10 of the reward for that period of time. So basically, it's a share protocol. Assuming all of the stakes are still active, if the next stake you stake another 1 hedron, if someone takes, and someone stakes is on day, another 1 hedron, and someone stakes is on day 370, verbiage wrong there, Jim Rat will help you out, no longer active, you'll receive 2/9 of the rewards for that time frame. You've staked 2 hedron in a total of 9 hedron with an active stake status.
What is I would curious.
Active stake status is right here, what they're talking about, less than 369 days served. Or so remember they said up here that you have to do 1 year. So
if you have a stake, it's active. Would that be a better way of looking
active
at that?
would mean like past the year, I think. Like once however, each stake is for a period of 1 year, which gives you the right to receive rewards after that year. After the 1 year stake ends, you will no longer receive rewards. You must restake for it.
So by saying active reward just means you have an effing stake.
Okay, so it just means if you have an active stake. Okay,
right? Does that understanding? Right? Like instead of calling it an active stake and trying to confuse. I'm reading through this. And I'm like, wait. So an active stake is just a stake. Why do you just call it a stake?
1 hedron in someone's stakes is on day 370. So once it goes past day 369, it's no longer active. So every time the staking goes past, you're no longer receiving rewards unless you restake or take it out, Sam. So at that point, Sam, when you stake, you either at day 370, it'll say you can cash out or you can go for another year. So if you're in that another year platform, you will be in the staking reward pool. So this, if you go stake for another year after this, instead of cashing out, this will just go back to 10. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
active just means a stake in my mind.
Yeah. It just means, well, they're just saying because there is a time lock feature of some sort. There will be a compound function that allows you to take your unclaimed rewards and immediately reinvest in that specific stake without time resetting or starting a new stake. So let's read that one more time. There will be a compound function, all right, scratch pad, that allows you to take your unclaimed rewards and immediately reinvest in that specific stake, I see, without time resetting or starting a new stake. So you can basically do what I just said and restake it if once the day 369 goes over. This is for
but no. I think what they mean with that, I believe, is with the rewards. So you know how it says the TBA or TBD to be determined for the rewards portion, like 2 or 3 paragraphs ago, like they don't know when they're going to distribute that out. So say it's a 1 year stake for 369 days and they distribute on a quarterly basis for the rewards. Well, where were we in here again?
Face away from the camera.
Compound. The compound, I had to see the word they were using so I could use the same word. The compound.
There will be a compound function that allows you.
Which means that when your quarterly rewards come in, if that was how they decided to do it, 3 months in, you get a reward. Instead of having to pull that money out and redo it, there's a option where it just basically takes that and adds it to your stake, but it doesn't make your stake start 369 additional days from that date. It just takes your rewards and adds it to your stake without changing the duration of your stake from the origin, if that makes sense, from what he's actually saying here. It's like an auto compounding feature that they have here. Some other platforms have that.
Yep, this is for the ones that want to compound without creating another one, your stake. End stake. You can only happen when stakes mature past 369. On day 370 and onwards, no more rewards can be received from that stake. You can call the unstake function at any time. You can emerge. That means that that means that you don't get penalized for waiting, which is cool. You can emergency end stake. However, you will lose 50% of your entire stack. Okay, hold up. Okay, so you can emergency end stake. You will lose. So if you stop at any time within that 369 days, it sounds like you will lose 50% of your stack, which will be redistributed to the existing Hedron stakers on Hex market based on total amount staked and active stakes. Does the fee apply?
The fee is just for the purchasing of the NFTs.
Okay. Just making sure. Hex Market may launch for another token at some point that will act as an additional way to earn from the marketplace by staking on top of the staking Hedron. C, do you plan to have a sacrifice phase? Real quick, I'll get through this and then Sam can go. Not at this time. However, we may have a future for that. Want to earn additional rewards on the bonus wallet. Guys, lots of competition for wallets, so let's keep our eyes on these wallets. We're going to have an episode on wallets in general once we get a little more clarity. 0.5555% fee on Hex Market will be allocated towards the bonus wallet. I'm not laughing. We may have a sacrifice phase in the future for those that wish to receive the funds from the bonus wallet and to earn additional rewards as the bonus wallet accumulates fees generated. Okay, so that's another wormhole I got to go down. So here's the fifth wormhole that I got to go down on Hedron.
It's like you can buy a lottery ticket to this thing.
Yeah, post-sacrifice, we would distribute all of the accumulated fees in the bonus wallet to the holders that had sacrificed. Meanwhile, those holders earning additional rewards from the bonus wallet prorated based on their total share. No more bonus tokens would be created. Interesting. I'll write that down as well. And I'm going to look at all this afterwards, guys. I'm not like actively learning as much at this moment. I'm just reading. All in stakers of the bonus token would have the opportunity to earn additional rewards by being a part of a smaller pool of stakers than Hedron stakers in the future. Again, guys, if you want to be successful in crypto, like understand there's a lot. Like if you want to be successful with Hedron, like most people will never know this information ever. So just consider yourself like someone who's ahead of the curve. And of course, if we decide to not have a sacrifice phase, we would simply distribute the funds collected in the bonus wallet and existing Hedron stakers via the buy and redistribute mechanism. There we are again with that. We're going to be digging all up in that buy and redistribute mechanism.
Can you reread that one again? That last sentence?
And of course, if we decide to not have a sacrifice phase, we would simply distribute the funds collected in the bonus wallet from above to existing Hedron stakers via the buy and redistribute mechanism. And that's the one I was keeping my eye on, like the only non-specific thing they kind of talk about in here. Mm-hmm. It would be that we want to see the variables in that, because that could be if people are going to be making money, you have to understand like there's incentivized ways to do things. So that's all we're talking about here. We're not talking about rug pulls or anything like that. This is way past that, guys, in my opinion. As an additional incentive for Hedron stakers, the funds accumulated in the bonus wallet will never go directly to Hex Market team. Good to know. But I use Tornado Cash. Just kidding. We will update the community if we plan to sacrifice in the future, guys. So far, Hedron has been nothing but transparent, nothing but awesome. Am I expected to profit or earn anything from hexmarket.com? Oh, another for this one's for all the guys that don't read the fine print before they give all their money up. No, you cannot expect profit or to earn anything from hexmarket.com. No expectations. You hear that, guys? So if you spend all your money on this sacrifice phase, you may have no expectations. And if you do, then you should just write them in your journal. Because I don't want to hear anything on our platform. Any staking or future sacrifices will not get you anything of value. Staking doesn't guarantee anything. If you choose to do anything with us, interact with our smart contract, sacrifice to our wallet addresses, upload, buy, sell NFTs on our platform, you must have no expectations of profit derived from the work of others. That means if this dude talks about his Winky, he doesn't care because you don't expect. You must have no expectations. I could talk S about Richard until I was blue in the face about the way he talks online, but he was clear to me with his speech and with his sacrifice phases and by telling me what the difference between a security and an asset was in a very detailed manner. He taught me directly what I should be allowed and not allowed to expect from cryptocurrency companies, cryptocurrency protocols in general that are decentralized.
It's interesting. I love that people are trying to build and add additional utility and add to the community. When you think about somebody who has an HSI stake or who's willing to actually HSI stake to start with, so say, for example, I was like, hey, I think it's a cool idea to do an HSI stake because the borrowing feature that is, the advance, that is what they call it, the borrowing feature with Hedron. Now, think about that person. They are like, hey, I want to collect money because I need to get rid of this. So they turn it into an NFT to sell it. If GRC, if you're in that spot, you're that person who created that HSI, and now you're in the spot where you're like, some life event happens and you need to get rid of that. How are you going to sell that? You're going to go to the place that has the most people. OpenSea. I don't know. Maybe I wish them amazing success. I only want people to win in life. So it could be challenging because of the marketplace. You need both sides of it up there. GRC is jacked. Right?
Look how effing jacked I'm getting. And I can hardly put any calories down. It's like God favors me over everyone else. I swear. No, I'm just kidding, guys.
Dude.
No, there's a lot of attributes about me that are horrid, absolutely devastating. And I've had to work with them for years and years and years. And then there's attributes about myself that are absolutely awesome. And I will show everyone those all the time. And I won't show you necessarily that I have panic attacks on occasion because I have so bad OCD, that's not the stuff that I highlight. But I talk to you and Bullish about that stuff. You know what I mean? I talk to my friends about that stuff. I say I can't focus because I'm too neurotic about one thing. And then they talk to me and they're like, it's okay. We're going to move. And then I'm like, okay, if you have a team, otherwise I'd be sitting in here talking S on Twitter Spaces all day long if I had no one to check me because, I'll talk shit all day long. There's so much stuff to talk about. I could jackass to everyone and it's not the way to do things though. It's not proper. It's not proper for value production. It just doesn't add anything. They should make Sam the Maxi mascot. Sam, what do you think about being the Maxi mascot?
I like Maxi.
Can I be a mascot for something, guys? Can I be a mascot for Pancake Swap?
How about we do something that I think will be super cool? How about we do something like we give everybody who has there's no way to prove that. Anybody, if there was a way to prove it, anybody who's commented in any of our videos for the whole time that we've done them, if we decide to launch something, everybody who's left a comment and supported the channel, right? On your side or my side at all, they get the free airdrop of some sort or whatever the case is.
It's funny. You guys mention my delts all the time. It's funny, Sam. You can really manipulate the size of your delts on camera. I actually have very small delts in person. So
yes, 100%.
If you look at me aside, you see how big my chest is right here, Sam?
Mm-hmm.
I have a really large chest. My chest is oddly large for my body. But if you move over to my shoulder, you can see I actually lack size comparatively to my back. So my back is huge comparatively to my shoulder and my arm. So when I'm lifting, I can bench a lot, but my arms give out. I swear. So I grab 50-pound weights and I just hold it right here and I squeeze the ever living crap out of it because I have to train my arms because I'm losing potential energy in the future because I can no longer grip the weight that I'm strong enough to hold. So I have to use straps on back, but there's some workouts that it's not as easy to strap up. like back is super easy, right? Like you can grab and it's just locked in. You don't have to use your grip strength. I could pull the whole rack on back, and I'm 170 pounds because when I have these on, right? Because I can just
Yeah.
dig it in. But I'm telling you guys, like the depth for me. But you can highlight the cool part about bodybuilding is like, look, if I sit like this is some alpha for you guys. I am 168 pounds, guys. Remember this, 168 pounds. I am not a massive guy by any means. And my body would rather be 155 if I was being 100% honest. So just realize, like, I could sit like this all day long, and it's good for marketing. Trust me that. So if I sit like this and I hit my trap up and I pin my arm like here, I can make my shit just look absolutely like Bane, right? But if I was just sitting like this, like it wouldn't be as impressive, right? So it is
Correct.
a whole thing. Like I want people to know the truth, right? Like it's about marketing. It's about I don't do this because I necessarily care what all you guys think about my delts, but it's a stickier thing to look at me being like 7%, absolutely could nuke anyone at any moment. And it's a better site. It's sexier. It's better. Why would I put on an oversized t-shirt when this helps me in some way? So again, I like to break things down as real as possible, as like, you know what I mean? I love airdrops.
100%.
Crypto Gains Club. I love airdrops.
No, dude, 100%. 100% completely.
Super
Completely
sticky.
agree.
Hey, somebody likes Hedron. A little bit sticky on the Hedron. I love that. Free airdrops are great for guys like GRC because we are absolutely looking for any extra, way to make money. I love that. I like any extra way to make, because I don't, people can say whatever they want. If you have a lot of money in crypto, you still don't really have a lot of money. It's a big process. Being able to move within the crypto system, extract value. Yeah, I'd love to have Rackham on. If he ever wants to come on the show, he's the guy that was controversially, doing all this stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
also a busy dude, like a dude that's probably doing stuff 24/7. So in his own right, he's probably just a little stressed out. Like, sure, if he'd come on here, he'd be like, oh, I friggin' freak out all the time. Like I shouldn't do it. Rackham called me to tell you to put a shirt on. Rack. If you actually said that, I'm concerned because we're pumping out over here. It's GRC.
Yes. This is an interesting comment. And then I got to run after this from Michael. What is the possibility that this market downturn is partially the result of people pulling liquidity off of exchanges in order to guarantee their copy of Pulse Chain at launch? Ooh, yeah, completely agree. Because I've been thinking about this a lot over the last 48 hours. When Pulse launches, it's going to have a ripple effect throughout crypto, because you're going to have things like this happen. And if Michael's asking this question and I'm thinking about this, then we're not the only people in crypto that think about this. And there is people who are pulling. We have a spam account in here. Sexy chat.
Oh, that's my girlfriend.
Yeah, tell him to go to web.
She wants me to go
adult dating sites.
I only do adult dating sites. No, I've actually stopped doing that stuff. It's so not fun. It's like, it's fun, but at the same time, it's fun if you're like, I'm not rich enough to do it yet. Like when I was broke, it was really fun because I was like zeroed out. So I could just like date and still be zeroed out. But now that I'm like working on stuff, it's like negative externalities are kind of like, but like if a super cute girl wants to like chill, like I'd love to talk to a woman. Like I haven't talked to any women in a while. I'm not kidding. Like I like talking to women. It's fun.
No, I agree. I like talking to people. I like interacting with people. I like interacting with the chat. I enjoy these conversations with you. I enjoy the conversations with Bull. She is not here, but at the moment. But he is an awesome dude. So are you. I appreciate everybody here.
I got you until 120, you dumb butt. Get your heck off here right now. Guys, say goodbye. Say goodbye to Sam, guys. We're going to see him tomorrow. And if you guys don't remember, I'm going to be learning how to code tonight so I can finally there's a couple things that I don't know about crypto at all, and this is going to be like my first introduction to like understanding that piece of it. I skipped out on the whole education system, so I'd had no, I just did the YouTube. So I'm going to start YouTubing coding, and I'll probably get better at it than, so just enough to read though. I don't want to. I'd rather pay someone to do some stuff. Sam, yep, biceps for Sam, guys. Biceps for Sam. Bye-bye, Sam. Bye-bye. Guys, if you have not already subscribed to this channel, please do so. That would be nice. I posted earlier that I'm going to start showing more pictures of my body to show off. And I said that because, it's just whenever I do it, it gets a lot of responses. So I'm like, you know what? It's fun to show off. Anyway, guys, it's been an absolutely amazing episode. I hope you learned something. I hope you learned something about all this drama. Don't worry about it. At the end of the day, it's stupid. It's just a bunch of rich dudes, getting a little pissed, showing a little Twitter action. If somebody wants to sell down the hex price, GRC would love to buy the hex price. You realize I'm not some rich ass hex dude that's just like, I want the price to go up no matter what. I'm like, yeah, it's a little steady Eddie down bear market wouldn't hurt GRC, that's for sure. But I'm a long-term thinker. That's why I love hex so much. I really am a long-term thinker. I've always been. I never think about the moment. I never think about the money I'm making in the moment. Ask Bullish, ask Sam. I've never cared. I can't think about money. I hate thinking about money right now. Maybe in the future that will change a little bit. But for right now, I'm just focused on being as beneficial to this community and being the best asset that I can be so that people like me and that my channel gets really big and that I can keep creating and learning and doing stuff without having to go back to some ass job that wastes my whole entire life and my whole creative energy. And not saying the job that I had before was a waste of time, but in general, if you're doing something that you don't agree with when you wake up in your stomach, I really do feel, unless you have children, you should stop. Unless your overhead's whacked. But again, another part of my journey was getting my overhead to $800 per month and being super, super happy with the lifestyle that I'm living at $800 per month. Guys, when it comes to girls, any of that stuff, it doesn't matter how much money you're making. It's a lie. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. It's a lie. It matters the energy that you give out to other people. But that directly takes years and years and years of work to cultivate a proper relationship with yourself. So I think it's important that y'all just look within. Everyone has emotions. Everyone gets upset. I get upset and lonely sometimes. I wish that I had someone every single night that, or whatever, but it's just not the way it is. And I'm just going to focus on working because that's what I like to do. I like to work when I wake up. I like to drink my caffeine. I like to hit the gym. That's what it's all about for me. I don't care about much else. I don't care about partying and stuff, but everyone's different, guys. I'm always keeping it real. I'm going to be here at 8 p.m. tonight. 8 p.m. learning coding from Fashion Coder, my internet girlfriend, soon to be real life girlfriend, Fashion Coder. She's awesome. She's smart. She's going to be on here at 8 p.m. tonight. I'll drop the thumbnail in about an hour and a half, an hour and 6 minutes. An hour and 6 minutes. And it's going to be absolutely electric. Hopefully there's not too much, I get distracted at 8 p.m. at night. But it's going to be fun. We're going to learn about coding. You know me. Let's get right into the weeds. Guys, it's been absolutely incredible. This has been my favorite show in the last couple of days. I'm super excited. Have a wonderful day. Hold on real quick.
If this was me. No, it's not me. And then I saw another guy asking about an influencer. I retweeted this Jim Rat Crypto that's having a Hexagon Fitness Challenge. There's guys impersonating him.
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
Bought my hex from the fucking start. Point one every day we mark. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the hex, he is mooning. Looking at why they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pull chains out and they'll get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex, I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Buy my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Buy my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Richard Hart.